You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the third part of What If Naruto Enters Batman Beyond? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Neo-Gotham Cemetery. It was the day after Naruto discovered how his parents died due to Derek Power's power-hungry machinations. Due to his justified rage and aggression at Powers, Bruce told him to take a day or two off of school as well as patrolling. To let him calm himself before he did anything rash. After all, even with the disc evidence, Powers had most of the police force and court systems in his back pocket. They needed more evidence before they could take him down. Right now Naruto was in front of his parents' graves, laying roses upon them as he stood before them. "Hey Mom, Dad," Naruto started to say, "I'm sorry I haven't visited in a while. I was just busy with my patrols." Naruto said before he sighed, "I don't know whether you'd like what I've become since your deaths. I accepted that, but, now that I know what truly happened, I want nothing more than to march down to Wayne Powers and slice the BSTRD open and strangle him with his own intestines," Naruto growled out before he took a breath. "Everyone is worried about me. And if you were alive I'm sure you would be too. It's funny, you know, Mr. Freeze gave me advice before he sacrificed himself not to give in to revenge, but now that I'm faced with the prospect of getting it, it's all I can think about, and maybe I should get some therapy," Naruto said with a chuckle before he turned to leave. "I'll see you both again soon, and when I do I'll hopefully have my answer to my own question," Naruto said as he started to walk away. Before he saw Nelson Nash and two of his jock friends walking through the cemetery drinking a few beers and heading towards him and the graves. Well, if it ain't Uzumaki," Nelson said as he crushed his beer can. "Not in the mood, as so why don't you and your buddies walk away," Naruto told him. "Ah, what's the matter? Is the bad boy of the school weeping over a few dead guys? Faye, what a PP," Nelson mocked before he chucked the beer can right onto Kushina's grave. Naruto suddenly saw red and grabbed Nelson by his throat and slammed him into the ground before he glared at his friends, getting them to back away in fear. "Get off me, you son of a b!" Nelson yelled as he swung his fist at Naruto, which he caught. "You know you're proud of your ability to be an athlete, how would you like to lose that?" Naruto asked as he glared at Nelson and gripped his arm tight, making it crack. "Ack! UF psycho!" Nelson cried out. "You're gonna clean that can off my mother's grave or I'll show you how psycho I can really be," Naruto growled in pure rage. "Wait, that's your mom's grave?" one of Nelson's friends asked as they both flinched, as that was a little much for them. "Why should I care just cause some worthless were gave BRTH to you and probably offed herself out of disappointment?" Nelson yelled. Naruto grit his teeth and snapped Nelson's wrist as he cried in pure agony from Naruto's actions. "Now what did you learn?" Naruto growled out. "That you're where Mom would be ashamed of you, you worthless SHT." Nelson cried in pure pain and anger. "Keep my mom's name out of your mouth." Naruto yelled as he stomped his foot on Nelson's back, adding more pressure with each word, while his two friends just stood there wide-eyed at Naruto's rage. Justified as he was in their eyes, it was still a shock to witness. Naruto took a breath as he started to walk away before Nelson, the arrogant TWT he was, opened his mouth one more time. "A shame she's dead, bet she would have been a good lay," he said with a mocking smirk. Naruto growled at this before he grabbed Nelson by his throat and shoved what looked like a pistol in his mouth, shocking him and his friends. "Give me a reason. Go ahead. Do it. Make my day." Naruto growled. Nelson started to hyperventilate and soon he passed out just from terror as he saw death itself in Naruto's eyes. Naruto dropped Nelson at this and scoffed, "Punk as it's a toy," Naruto said as he was holding a pellet gun. Naruto put it away before he turned to Nelson's buddies. "Keep him in line," Naruto told them before he walked away from them to a nearby tree and started to breathe to calm himself. "You went too far, Naruto," the voice of Bruce Wayne said as he hobbled over to him by his cane. "If he talked like that about your mom, what would you have done?" Naruto asked hotly. "This is a free pass," Bruce said as he couldn't deny that since as a kid a bully said something about his mother and he broke his jaw. "That's what I thought," Naruto said as he walked out of the cemetery before seeing Terry walk over from afar. "Whoa, what happened to Nelson?" he asked, seeing Nelson's friends carry him over them as they were by the entrance. "He fell. Right, Nash?" Naruto said simply as he got on his motorcycle. "Yeah. I fell," Nelson said as he was right now trying not to SHT himself at the sight of Naruto. Luckily for him, Naruto flew off and his friends carried him away. "So what really happened?" Terry asked Bruce. Nelson talked about his mother and Naruto corrected him, Bruce said, keeping it simple. "Oh, that dumbass, so what now?" Terry asked Bruce. "Let him grieve for a bit. He needs time. In the meantime you'll have a few solo patrols till he can patrol without the risk of going on a rampage," Bruce told Terry. "Got it. What about the twins? What are they gonna do?" Terry asked as while he didn't mind solo he was concerned about his friend's mental state right now. "I'm letting them help Naruto, but from what it seems he just wishes to be alone right now. Give him time. That being said, keep an eye on Powers. The last thing we need is Naruto storming Wayne Powers like a harbinger of death," Bruce told him before they headed into the cemetery. After all, Bruce's parents and Terry's dad were also buried here. Terry nodded at this as while he didn't blame Naruto for wanting to kill Powers, hell he'd join him given the chance, he wasn't gonna let Naruto destroy himself for trash like Powers. Bruce hobbled along before he walked to a particular grave. "It's been a long time, Jason," Bruce said morosely as he visited the grave of his adopted son. "With Naruto." Naruto walked into his apartment after driving back to it before he saw Delia and Deirdre there waiting for him at the table. "We need to talk," Delia said as they gestured for him to sit down. Naruto sat down as the twins looked at him. "Look, we can't imagine what you're dealing with, but we scheduled a therapist for you to help you. They're on the way now," Delia told him, making Naruto sigh. "Girls, I love you both, but I don't need to some quack dash," Naruto was saying before. "Hey, I am not a quack," Harley yelled as she kicked down the door and came in along with Ivy. The door was unlocked. "Nana," Deirdre deadpanned. "I don't care, I refuse to be called a quack even if he's got AB breaker," Harley yelled out. "This is who you brought in?" Naruto deadpanned. "She's a licensed therapist, Puden. Besides, it's free," Delia shrugged. "That and you won't have to hold back so you can keep your Red Hood stuff secret," Ivy said as she sat down. "Plus if you're a good boy I'll give you special treatment," Harley said with a mad grin as she checked Naruto out. "F it, fine," Naruto sighed. "Fantastic, now you two leave," Harley told her granddaughters. "What?" Deirdre asked in shock. "Doctor-patient confidentiality. Ivy's only here 'cause she can sedate him if needed," Harley explained. "Fine, but be careful, he loves to pull on pigtails when he's ball deep in your peach," Delia said with a giggle. "That's fine, Nana loves it rough. Hard. Fast. Ooh, I came just thinking about it." Harley giggled. "You're here to help him not get wrecked," Ivy said flatly. "SEC can be a good stress release," Harley said simply. "Alright, well, good luck, Puden," Deirdre told Naruto before they left to do a patrol. "Yeah, leave marks. Make their peaches red like Aunt Ivy's hair," Delia giggled as they closed the door as they left. "Okay, stud, let's start with EEEEE," Harley was saying before Naruto grabbed her and pulled her into a rough kiss. "So CC first, I guess," Ivy deadpanned. "You're next after I break this peach in," Naruto growled as he smacked Harley's leather-clad peach. Harder, Harley out, make me really feel it." She giggled. Naruto raised his hand and smacked Harley's peach hard. Not only making it ripple but his fingers tearing part of her unders. "Ah! Such a rough little boy." Harley out. "I'm not little," Naruto growled out. You play with my granddaughters every night but I'm not them. I'm not gonna be impressed easily." "So show me what you got, little boy," Harley grinned. Naruto growled as he unzipped his lowers as Harley slipped and got down. "Want me to kiss it, little bo dash?" Harley was asking mockingly before she found his pee-pee shoved down her throat in one move as he gripped her pigtails in each hand, using them as handles for an instant face F. "I'm not gonna be gentle now SCK that pee-pee," Naruto grunted out as he slammed his pee-pee down her throat, his ball slapping into her chin with each move. Ivy's eyes widened in surprise as she watched this teen pretty much use Harley's moth as a sex toy. "I always wanted Harley Quinn on her knees for me." Naruto smirked as he kept slamming his pee-pee down her moth, enjoying her GGS as she choked on his thick pee-pee. "Oh god, it's so thick. I can barely breathe." Harley thought as she breathed through her nose as best she could during the face inhaling his masculine scent as she gagged on his pee-pee. "Ugh, your throa is the best, I'm getting close," Naruto grunted out as he felt his TSTCL pulse ready to fire his juices into the clown woman's mouth. Harley felt his juices go down her throa, however its amount and its thickness made her struggle to eat down it. So much was it that her cheeks swelled up comedically as she tried to eat. "Don't waste a drop," Naruto demanded as he pulled away so Harley could eat. Harley slowly gulped down his juices in her mouth until her cheeks went back to their normal size before she opened her mouth with her tongue hanging out to show she drank it all. "Wow, you're an energetic stud, aren't you?" Harley panted out as she saw Naruto's throbbing pee-pee. "Turn around and lose the lowers. We're gonna throw a party," Naruto ordered. "Wouldn't you rather rip my clothes off me piece by piece?" Harley asked with a teasing tone. "I love when my girls show off to me, now do it," Naruto ordered. "Make me, little boy," Harley giggled out. Naruto growled as he turned her around and pushed her onto the floor on her hands and knees. "Ooh, so rough. Now what, little boy?" she asked as she wiggled her peach enticingly for him. Naruto growled as he grabbed her lowers and forced them around her knees and gripped her peach roughly, making Harley in excitement. "I'm gonna F you and not gently. Don't beg me to stop," Naruto growled into her ear as he rubbed his pee-pee on her wet pee-pee. "Less talky, more FEY, little boy," Harley mocked. Naruto growled at this and thirsted not into her pee-pee but her peach. "Yah!" Harley yelled in shock and pain at feeling his thick pee-pee penetrate her tight peach. "Holy F, this is the tightest peach I've ever Naruto yelled while Ivy looked on wide-eyed. "What?" Naruto asked. "She was an anal version," Ivy said after a second. Naruto smirked at this as he gripped Harley's peach. "Is that a fact? Then I better show her a good time." Naruto yelled before he started to hammer into her peach, making her peach slap against his abs. "Oh F." Harley yelled as she tried to keep herself on her hands and knees at his fierce THRSTS, nearly knocking her flat on her face. Harley felt her pigtails get pulled back by Naruto, however, to hold her up. "I'll use these handles, but first." Naruto yelled as he reached a hand down to her shirt and ripped it from the front clean off her body and revealing her red BR-clad tips swinging till Naruto ripped her BR off after. "There, now let's make those tips bounce for Ivy to enjoy the show." Naruto smirked as he went back to holding her pigtails while pinning Harley's peach into oblivion. "Ah! That's right, little boy. Rev up your Harley." She enjoy as each move sent her melons to bounce into her face with audible smacks. "I'll do more than rev up my Harley. This Harley exists only to be ridden by me from now on. Me and my ladies." Naruto growled as he reached a hand down to one of her melons and gripped it roughly. Harley panted and and smiled madly as she felt herself about to CLMX hard after so long. Hope you like the feeling of hot juices in your peach, cause that's what you're gonna get, Naruto growled into her ear. Harley threw her head back and arched her back at this and screamed, climaxing at the idea of her peach being filled by his hot juices. As she did so, Naruto felt her peach tighten like a vice around his PP, making him finally leak into her. After a minute, Harley panted before she fell to the floor face down and peach up as Naruto pulled out of her. Still hard and raring to go. Naruto turned to Ivy, who was panting after watching the show that Naruto had given her. STRP, Naruto growled out as he walked over to her since she was still sitting at the table. Ivy quickly undressed as Naruto approached her and pushed her onto the table and got on top of her. Pick a hole, Naruto ordered her as he wanted to know what hole she wanted him to PND into like a wild animal. My PPP, Ivy stuttered out as she felt his hot breath hit her neck. Immediately after, Naruto grinned as he slammed his PP to the hilt inside the plant woman's PP. You know, I always wanted to F a redhead like you. You and Harley were the two of Batman's rogues I wanted to F the most, Naruto admitted as he gave a quick move into her and making her scream as her melons bounced. Naruto grunted and panted as he F Ivy but paused as he felt Harley hug him from behind, smushing her melons against his back. She needs it bad, little boy, so you better F her good, Harley whispered into Naruto's ear before she started to bite at his neck to egg him on. Growling. When she's leaked her brains out, your next be. Naruto growled as he slammed his PP into Ivy with a new ferocity. Doubling his speed as he pended away at her TWT. Looking forward to it, little boy, Harley smirked as she blew into Naruto's ear to send him into overdrive. Ivy screamed at the newfound ferocity Naruto was exhibiting as he slammed his PP inside of her tightening TWT. Making the plant MSTRS scream loudly at each and every move he gave her. Feeling each move slam against her WMB. Naruto watched her melons bounce with each move and felt his mouth water a little. Yeah, Red has big ones, huh? I think she's slightly bigger than me, Harley giggled. Really want to get her going? Go ahead and motorboat them as you tear up her pages, Harley told him with a grin. Naruto grunted at this as he started to motorboat his face in Ivy's melons as he continued to move into her. His spiky hair poked into her jiggling tips and made Ivy as her arms instinctively wrapped around his neck to keep him in between her massive jugs. Loving the feel of his head in between her knockers. Harley giggled madly as Naruto started to move even harder into Ivy, making the table they were on creak and quake. You getting close, little boy? She asked Naruto with a teasing tone. I bet you are. You gonna fill up the plant MSTRS with your thick, white nectar? Harley giggled out. Ga F, you're next after her. Naruto growled as he felt his ball tighten after Harley's joke. Ooh, I can't wait. Fill her up and then take me like AC sleeve. Harley cackled. Yes, my darling. Defile my WMB with your juices. Ivy out as she licked her lips at Naruto in a CC way, making him finally leak inside her. Flooding her depths with his juices as her body shook from her own orgasm. As Ivy shook and shuddered, Naruto panted for breath after his CLMX. The table they were on finally broke and they both fell to the floor. Harley burst out laughing at this. DMN Pammy, good thing you can't have kids. Pretty sure he'd have fertilized you after that one. And the table. DMN Whiskers, guess you'll need to eat your meals off something else now. Harley laughed uproariously as Naruto stood up from the shattered remains of his table and loomed over the laughing Harley, who hadn't noticed he was above her yet. Before he grabbed her by her hair and shoved her against the wall. Ah. F me like you love me, little boy, Harley said with a crazed grin as she wrapped her legs around his waist, or is it F me like you hate me? Whichever is rougher. Harley yelled in crazed lust before Naruto slammed his PP inside her CNT. Pinning her back against the wall with a rapid onslaught of THRSTS. Oh F yeah. Ruin my clown hole, little boy. Harley giggled in pure, wanton lust. F, I'm starting to like that name. It makes me want to F you harder, Naruto panted. Does someone have a mommy FTSH? I'll be your mommy, Harley giggled. Well, I do have a MLF, I give it to regularly, Naruto grunted out as he smirked at Harley. I was hoping I'd be your first older woman, Harley sighed disappointed. Don't worry, you're a first-class piece of peach, I'll gladly F any day, Naruto said. Woohoo! Then Ivy and I are moving in then. Harley giggled. I don't recall agreeing to that, Naruto said surprised. But we wanna be your mommy's little boy, Harley whispered into his ear, besides unrestrained access to us and my granddaughters whenever you want, Harley giggled. Fine, but we are buying a bigger place and you're helping pay for it, Naruto told her. We have a place lined up already, Ivy out still recovering from her F session. You Naruto asked confused. Yup. Right by Wayne Manor. Some old mansion or something. I didn't get all the details. Harley giggled. I wanted a condo for me and my bees, Naruto grunted as he thirsted more into Harley. You want a bachelor pad, don't you, little boy? Harley giggled out. Yeah, with STRPR pole and a pool and a hot tub, Naruto panted out. Okay, but I expect you to F me hard like this every night, OF. Harley was saying before Naruto thirsted hard and made his PP enter her WMB. Penetrating it from the sheer force and power of his THRSTS. So cancel the mansion then? Ivy asked, still on the floor recovering. Yup, our little boy is gonna get a fancy schmancy condo to wreck us every night in. Harley screamed. Prepare your WMB for my juices, my clown SLT. Naruto growled as he felt he was leaking soon. Gonna give this clown a juice blast? Well, go ahead, little boy. Show your new mommy what you got. Harley giggled in lunacy. Naruto shouted loudly at this as he fired his juices inside her, flooding her WMB with his juice. Harley giggled as she felt his juice fill her before she cackled. Again. Again. She yelled like a child on a crazed sugar high. Hey, I want another round, Ivy said as she finally got up from the table. You'll have to pry his PP out of my body. Harley yelled. Naruto chuckled at this before he pulled Harley into a kiss. And then immediately pulled his PP out while she was distracted from his tongue. Ivy, seeing his now freed PP, snuck up from in between his legs and engulfed his thick into her tight, wet moth. You're a talented one, Ivy, Naruto groaned as Ivy ate on his PP like a pro. That's Mama Ivy to you, Ivy told him quickly before she went back to eating him off. Harley pouted at the fact she had nothing to do. You both can SCK me off together. Now get over here, Naruto said as he pet Ivy on the head. Make me little boy, Harley told him cheekily. Get to work or I'm gonna just F Ivy for the rest of the night, Naruto gave her an ultimatum. Harley was instantly on her knees next to Ivy. Share that with me, Red, she yelled as the two liked and ate at Naruto's fat pages, leaving black lipstick marks all over his PP. Naruto smiled as he put his hands on their heads. You keep calling yourselves my mommies but never forget I'm your daddy now, Naruto said with a grin at the two former villainesses as he planned to have more fun with them the rest of the day and night. Several hours later. Now then, tell me what's been causing your anger, Harley asked, sitting in a chair, holding a clipboard, and wearing glasses yet still NDE and leaking Naruto's juices as she started her therapy session. Do I really have to do this? Naruto deepened as he was lying on his couch yet still NDE from the SEC earlier. I refuse to let my new SGRDDY be a mental case. That's my job. Harley yelled. And that makes you qualified to be my shrink, how? Naruto questioned. Talk or no SEC from any of us for a week, Harley threatened. Well, it all started when I was born, Naruto was saying before he was cut off. No SpongeBob jokes, Ivy deadpanned, also NDE but sitting in an opposite chair from Harley. Naruto pouted at this as he started to talk. Specifically about what he discovered about his parents' death and his many incidents as Red Hood along with his training to the two former villainesses that held doctorates. A few days later. Naruto had finally come back to school after his talks with Harley. He was calm enough to go back to school, however Bruce was still concerned about sending him back out on patrols. Not that there was much crime to stop at the moment due to a new team of heroes in Neo-Gotham known as the Terrific Trio. Army-funded and government-approved, the Terrific Trio had debuted during one of Terry's patrols alone, while Naruto was benched. "Still annoyed that you got upstaged?" Naruto asked Terry as he approached his locker along with the twins after school ended. "Nah. If anything it means I'll have more time with Dana, my mom, and the twip," Terry said. "I still say tell her. Heck, maybe train her a bit." Naruto was saying. "Not happening," Terry said, cutting off Naruto. "So you don't want her as the new Huntress or Batgirl?" Delia asked with a smirk. "Your women are evil," Terry said as he thought about this image for a moment before he looked at Naruto. "Hello, we're Quinzels." "I thought that was obvious," Deirdre smirked along with her sister. "Okay, enough teasing him. So what does the old man have to complain about now?" Naruto asked knowingly. "They are unknowns and you know the old man, he is paranoid." Terry rolled his eyes. "Well yeah, they're government approved," Naruto pointed out as he rolled his eyes. "Just like Nana Harley's Suicide Squad back in the old days," Delia said with a flat tone. "Think she still has the outfit?" Naruto asked as he had seen Harley's outfit from those days, and needless to say the short shorts were very appealing to him. "Down boy," Delia smirked as she knew what her man was thinking. "Yeah, I'm just gonna go before this conversation scars me," Terry said as he backed away from the twins and Naruto. "So my lovely twins, what do you have planned for today?" Naruto asked. "Oh, we're helping Nana Harley and Auntie Pam with moving everything to the new condo," Deirdre said. "What about you?" she asked. "Seeing as I'm still benched, I may as well set up my workshop in the condo while helping you ladies," Naruto shrugged. "That you have a condo now?" Terry asked before he fully left, slightly jealous. "Relax, you can have my old apartment as I still have it as a separate base and safe house. And yes, I will have it cleaned," Naruto said as he wanted to give his friend a break, which had nothing to do with the fact that he was sticking it to Mary in general. "Shwai," Terry grinned as he loved the idea of his own space to hang with Dana alone. Hours later. Naruto sighed as he finally finished his Red Hood workshop hidden in his condo behind a bookshelf. "Alright Pudden, everything is put away," Delia said. "Awesome. So how about as thanks I cook for everyone tonight," Naruto said with a smile since they did the most. "You can cook?" Ivy asked with a raised eyebrow. "I have other talents other than killing and doing you dirty," Naruto said with a chuckle. "Hey, if your cooking is as good as your I'll do you while you're at the stove every meal," Harley grinned. "Not as fun as that sounds, I like to focus while I cook." "This is an art after all," Naruto said as he headed to the kitchen to make a large dinner of chicken, rice and corn while for Pam he made her some vegan stir-fry. The women watched in awe as he flawlessly moved about the new kitchen he had no real familiarity with, like it was second nature as he cooked up a storm. Preparing plate after plate as if he was going up against a clock to break a record for fastest cooked dish, slicing veggies, and searing chicken. In no time at all the women soon each had their plates as soon as he finished cooking. "Well, dig in," Naruto said with a smile as Delia and Deirdre ate first, having experienced his cooking in the past. Great as always Pudden," Delia said as she smiled as she ate her food along with Deirdre. Harley and Ivy took tentative bites of the food, curious. After the first bite, however, Harley immediately started scarfing down her plate like a wild animal. Ivy, while not as wild and crazily eating like Harley, still ate at a fast pace as she enjoyed the flavors of the home-cooked meal. "I guess you liked it?" Naruto asked with a smirk. "You, me, bedroom now," Ivy ordered. "No dessert?" "I made a chocolate cake," Naruto said as he chuckled. "Chocolate!" Harley yelled as she dashed to the fridge. Before Naruto could respond, a calm alert went off for Naruto, surprising him since he was still benched. "What is it, old man?" Naruto asked. "Get suited up. Terry's in trouble." Bruce ordered. Naruto nodded as he hung up. Sorry Ivy, duty calls, he said. DMN it. Ivy yelled. If you want you all can suit up and help me, Naruto said as he went to his closet. Fine. Harley, put the cake down. Time to premiere as anti-heroes. Ivy yelled. F you. Harley yelled with her mouth full of cake. It'll be there when we return. We can even have some homemade ice cream I made with it, Naruto said. Fine, but I want L tonight and to be covered in enough juices to use as my makeup. Harley yelled as she ate her cake and went to go get dressed. You're lucky all that chocolate goes to your peach and tips, Nana, Deirdre deadpanned. Hey, he needs something to grab onto, Harley defended herself as she strppd fully NDE to put on her crime-fighting outfit. In front of everyone. So which old outfit are you going with? Ivy asked as she knew Harley wanted to go for a classic feel. Remember the outfit I wore during the whole Suicide Squad thing, Harley said as she smiled. Oh good, Pudden was hoping for that one, Delia said with a giggle. It's a new outfit though, think the same but the blue is black, Harley said as she threw on a pair of red and black short shorts, a white, tight shirt saying Daddy's Lil Monster on it, and a red and black leather jacket, and one red and one black heel on each foot as she shouldered a baseball bat. Naruto chuckled as he checked Harley out. Nice, Naruto grinned beneath his mask. You can show her how much you like it later, let's get this over with, Ivy said as she finished changing into a unitard made of leaves with a small opening down the front between her melons gap down to the stomach. Her arms were covered by long green gloves leaving her shoulders bare and her legs were uncovered barring her feet in green heels. In her long red hair were flower petals. Very nice, Naruto said with a smirk as he put on his helmet. So what are we doing? Delia asked as her and Deirdre put on their red and white motleys and grabbed their weaponry. The old man said Terry is in trouble, Naruto said as they all went to his garage. Okay ladies, pile up in Nana's ride. Harley yelled as she jumped into a red and black flying car. Maybe I should drive? Ivy suggested nervously. My keys, my car, my driving. Harley yelled as she got into the driver's seat. Well, we're gonna die, Delia deadpanned. Any chance I can bum a ride? Ivy asked Naruto, terrified of Harley driving them. When not on hero or villain duty she's a fine driver. When she is though. They usually almost always cause crazy amounts of collateral damage. Hell, Harley's driving was so erratic and crazy she was banned from England, Japan, China, and Australia. Get in the car, Red. Harley yelled. Ivy groaned as she stepped inside the car along with the twins while Naruto hopped on his motorcycle and they drove off into the night sky. Terrific Trio Tower. Terry was crushed under a giant pile of metal after following Magma of the Terrific Trio after he stole something. He had overheard Magma speaking with his teammates Freon and the 2D man as apparently the army that funded them had lied about a test result to them that was leaving them genetically unstable. Slowly driving them to madness. Unfortunately, General Norman of the army sent a force to destroy the tower and kill them before the trio went crazy. And because Terry was in the tower, he was getting caught in the crossfire. He could only watch the three try to escape as the tower was collapsing around them while they didn't even know he was here. And now he was probably gonna die because the army is paranoid and likes having controlled weapons. Come on. Terry growled as he finally used the suit's strength to pick up the metal on him and toss it aside before he dodged more metal dropping from the ceiling. With General Norman. Keep firing on them, we need anyone in that tower eliminated. No one must know, the general said, watching his soldiers fly aircrafts and fire missiles into the tower to kill the trio. However, he saw one of his aircrafts suddenly spiral after a small explosion and the pilot to parachute out. What the hell? General Norman yelled at this before an explosion was heard that made the room shake. Intruder alert in hangar. Intruder alert in hangar. An alarm yelled. Soldiers go investigate. The trio have taken the fight to us. Find and kill them. The general yelled through the intercom. But suddenly the doors to The room exploded as plant vines shot into the room and started to attack everyone in the room, restraining all in the bridge. What the hell? The general growled as he struggled against the vines before hearing footsteps sound as Poison Ivy stepped into the room. You know, I really don't like disloyalty. Especially from people who are supposed to set an example for the rest of us regular citizens, Naruto said as him, Harley, Delia and Deirdre entered the room behind Ivy. What are you freaks doing? The general was saying before Harley cracked her bat across his face, sending some of his teeth and blood flying. This is for the bombs in the neck, you bstrd. Harley yelled. That was Waller, Ivy deadpanned. I know, but it's more fun to treat him like I would that fat bee, Harley said simply before she sent another strike at his face. As you can see, General, me and my lovely ladies have taken over your ship, Naruto said simply. Pretty easily too, Deirdre said with a giggle. So you can either tell me why you guys are trying to kill your heroes and my buddy, or I can ask with this, Naruto said as he pushed a pistol into the general's head. You idiots. We're saving our great country. You will be branded traitors for this. I'll see you executed for treason. The general yelled, frothing at the mouth. Bang! Not if we don't get caught, Naruto said with a smirk as the general's body hit the floor dead. DMN babe, you're hardcore, Harley said with a giggle, I love it. Seeing you kill a man gets me all hot. She grinned. Before you two start in here, we do have a lot of witnesses, Ivy pointed out, referring to the restrained soldiers. Who said there were any survivors? Naruto asked as he fired his pistol at the controls of the ship, making the ship start to shake and plummet. Besides, the general literally started firing in the middle of a city. Anyone who survives this is probably gonna get executed, since there's no way this was government sanctioned. Now let's go, we need to check on Batman, Naruto ordered as he started walking back to the hangar followed by his ladies. After leaving the ship. Terry, come in. What's your status? Naruto asked from a rooftop nearby along with the girl. Naruto. When did you? Doesn't matter. I'm out of the tower. The trio faked getting shot down in their car. I found a tunnel dug by magma. I have an inkling where they're going. Meet me at the laboratory of Dr. Hodges. Terry said. Copy that. We're on our way, Naruto said. Let's go, ladies, Naruto said as he whistled, letting his motorcycle fly to him as he leapt onto it. It's my turn to ride with you. Harley yelled as she leapt up in a flip and sat behind Naruto on the flying motorcycle of death. Wait, Harley. Ivy was yelling as Naruto was about to take off, you have the keys. Ivy yelled before Harley threw her the keys to the car. Scratch it and I'll put a VBRTR up your CNTS for 72 hours straight. Harley yelled as Naruto flew off. Like I would scratch it, I'm not you, Ivy said with a scoff as she got into the driver's side while the twins cartwheeled into the back seats. Dr. Hodges' laboratory. Naruto and Terry dropped out of the vents into the office of Dr. Hodges before hearing voices coming from the laboratory part of the building. You knew the experiment wouldn't work. Magma growled out as him, Freon, and 2D man stood around a restrained Dr. Hodges encased in ice. And no. I wouldn't do that. So why didn't you show up then, Howard? Furren asked as she glared at him. The data speaks for itself, Howard, 2D man said with a glare. You weren't supposed to be there, Howard said as he looked at Freon. Oh, are you kidding me? We're doing this old cliché. Naruto yelled out, getting the trio and Howard's attention on him. What are you doing here? Magma growled as he recognized the new Red Hood from the news. Well, see, I was just passing through and thought this place would make a nice summer home, and what the F do you think I'm here for? Naruto deadpanned. You don't owe this piece of trash anything, Freon said as she glared at Howard while the machine started up to recreate the lab accident on a grander scale. True, but your psycho CRP is gonna hurt the city, so you have a choice: you stand down or I add your bodies to the pile I left at your tower, Naruto said as he pulled out his pistols and loaded with special ammo. You think you can stop us? 2D man glared. Well, yeah. I mean, you're an ice ghost, a walking volcano, and a rubber band man rip-off. I like my odds. So you three can either leave the city out of this and even kill your dumbass friend there, cause I won't stop that, or you can be really stupid and tango with me. Make your choice, Naruto said. Enough of your dash, 2D man was saying before. Bang! Aw! 2D man cried in pain as he was shot directly in his stomach. The bullet piercing through him like a drill spiraling through his body. Be a good boy and stay down while Papa disciplines your siblings, Naruto said as he aimed at Freon and Magma. Freon blew her ice breath at Naruto, who simply jumped back as the breath froze the ground beneath him. So quick question, does that affect you pleasing your husband there, or do his powers negate that? Naruto mocked. Before Freon could respond, the air conditioning system activated and sucked her and the groaning 2D man up, while Magma could only watch his wife and friend get sucked away. Possibly to their deaths. Did they just die? Howard asked, still terrified and frozen as Magma picked to kill him. Batman appeared hanging above them and threw a baton and sliced into Magma's arm, making him drop Howard. You think your little throwing toys will be enough to beat me? Magma growled as his arm grew back. No, but this emergency water hose probably will, Naruto said with a smirk before he picked up a chemical hose and sprayed down Magma, encasing him in hardened rock due to the intense magma evaporating from the torrent of water, while Terry shut off the machine before it reached critical mass. Well, that was kind of anticlimactic, Naruto said after shutting off the hose. Yeah, these things usually end that way, Terry said. Are you gonna kill me? Howard asked since his feet were still frozen. I probably should, Naruto said as he pulled out his pistol. No need, I put what he did online and the cops should be paying you a visit. You can live with the guilt. Assuming you have any, Terry said simply. Oh, that's cold, I like it, Naruto said with a smirk as he holstered his gun. You can forever remember this day as the day the Ted Hood almost shot you. Be grateful I didn't, Naruto said as he started to walk away. Howard nodded at this, truly grateful but also looking guilty. He did pretty much get his friends killed in the end, all because of his own jealousy and envy. Before anything else was said, Naruto's motorcycle came crashing through the building into the lab with Harley at the wheel. I'm here, bees. She yelled, cackling. Where were you? Terry asked the clown woman. I raided that simp's bank account. I knew Big Daddy Red had this in the bag. Or on ice in this case, Harley said with a smile. 6 out of 10, Naruto deadpanned at the joke. Everyone's a critic. You're lucky you've got a massive schlong, damn it, Harley pouted. Yeah, let's get home, I'm hungry, Ivy grumbled out as she drove Harley's car right in front of the newly made hole. Yeah, Puddin' did bake us that cake we still need to eat. Delia and Deirdre yelled together. Suddenly they heard sirens outside. And the cops are here, Ivy said flatly. I can't go back to jail. Harley yelled before she grabbed Terry, threw him in the car before grabbing Naruto and started up his motorcycle again to leave. With Naruto riding on the back of his own motorcycle. This is embarrassing, Naruto said with a groan. Shut up, B. You have me to grab onto like this. You can grab me anywhere. Harley yelled as she drove through a window. I'll remember that later tonight, Naruto said with a smirk as he grabbed her peach. Ah, I was hoping you'd grab my tips, Harley whined. While driving through another window on a skyscraper. And through an entire office. Wayne Powers. Inside of Powers' office, the man in charge was in a meeting. Sound is our most important sense, Mr. Powers. It is a warning for danger, male voice said in a dark room as Powers looked around as he heard a cacophony of growls. Shreve. What the hell are you doing? Powers asked before suddenly he heard a train horn and saw a single light heading towards him, causing him to panic. Suddenly the lights came back on, revealing a man holding a simple flashlight. Relax, it was just an illusion, he said as he put away the flashlight. I was humoring you, Powers said as he stood up and straightened his suit out. I'm sure, the man said, hiding a small smirk at freaking out Powers with his illusion. I was hoping for more than this, Shreve. This little act doesn't really impress me, Powers said as he walked over to the man with a frown on his face. The man smiled as he went to a nearby closet and pulled out a bulky white suit. Behold the sound suit. Shreve said with a smile as he donned the white machine suit over a black jumpsuit. A Halloween costume? That's where my funding went? Powers asked blandly. Observe, Shreve said as he walked over to a large concrete block and held his hand in front of it, shattering it with sound vibrations. Sonic emitters built into the suit that use vibrations. With this, construction workers could demolish buildings in an instant. Not to mention the help it would give for clearing roadways if needed. Dynamite would get the same results, Shreve, for far less money, Powers said boredly. But Shreve was saying before Powers put a hand on his shoulder. Ah, Shreve, I like you, but you're just not a practical guy. That's why I had to bail out your company and fund you. But now I need a return investment, Powers told him. How? Shreve asked, confused. I have a little problem I need you to solve for me, Powers said with a smile. Later. Wayne Powers' boardroom. Inside a boardroom, Bruce was standing among the board of directors. I am disgusted. Disgusted and outraged. Bruce Wayne said as he stood in front of the board members and Powers, myself and my parents had always used this company for the betterment of the city's inhabitants. And now I hear of a new plan to demolish the historical district of Gotham to build another soulless industrial complex. Bruce asked hotly, looking at Powers who seemed irritated. I refuse to sit idly by and let the company I love ruin a part of the city I also love, Bruce told them, getting silence. Suddenly one of the board members clapped after the speech, getting all but Powers to clap. Members of the board, I wish to hold a shareholders meeting to determine a vote for this plan, Bruce proposed. Seconded, a board member said, nodding in agreement. Third, another said, also nodding. Very well. We shall have a shareholders meeting in 1 week, Powers acquiesced. Inwardly seething. The board members all got up one by one, leaving Bruce and Powers alone for a brief moment. Bruce sent Powers a smirk before hobbling out of there. You have been a thorn in my side for far too long, old man. I can't wait for Shreve to finally turn your ragged bones to dust, Powers thought in dark glee as his skin started to crack a little and glow green. In the lobby. Terry stood waiting for Bruce while on the phone. I'll be at the club after I drop Mr. Wayne off, Dana. I promise, he said to his girlfriend. You better, Terry. I have a new outfit that I've been saving for this date, Dana told him, making him smile. I'll be there. Naruto's gonna be watching over Mr. Wayne tonight. Terry answered with a grin before seeing Bruce hobble over. Gotta go. See you later, Terry said before hanging up. So how'd the meeting go? Terry asked. Like expected. Powers isn't backing down, Bruce said simply as Terry helped him into his car next to Ace. Must be something to get you out of the house in broad daylight, Terry said as he got into the driver's seat, surprised how fired up Bruce was. Why don't I show you, Bruce offered as Terry started the car. With Naruto. Naruto was currently wandering Gotham's historic district looking around. Why are we here? Naruto asked Harley and Ivy, who were nearby in disguises thanks to holo watches Harley had nicked from some government lab. Currently Harley and Ivy both looked as they did before their respective accidents. I wanted to visit a few spots from where I committed some crimes. You know, reminisce. Oh. That's where I cracked a guy's head open for saying I have a great peach. Harley giggled as she pointed at an alleyway. I mean, he wasn't wrong, Naruto said. Yeah, but he was telling his buddies how he would like to dash, Harley was saying before she was cut off. Point made, Harles, Ivy said flatly as she really didn't want to hear this. So if Harley came to reminisce, why'd you come, Pam? Naruto asked. I'm on duty keeping Harley in line. Now that she is young again, I don't need her acting like a fool. Ivy deadpanned. Ooh, a taco shop. Harley said, running to an abandoned and desolate taco shop. It's abandoned, Harley, Ivy deadpanned. I want tacos. Where's my taco? Where's my taco? Where's my ow? Harley yelled, slamming her fist on the counter, which caused a board to come loose and hit her on the head. Point proven, Naruto chuckled as he noticed the board said condemned. You good, Harles? Ivy asked as she approached Harley to check on her. Yuppers. It's not the first hit I've taken to the head, Pammy. Harley giggled. As Ivy sighed at her friend's crazy antics, Naruto saw a sign on the taco shop wall with a newspaper clipping. Red Hood saves local taco shop from Riddler, showing a picture of Jason Todd as Red Hood punching Riddler in the face while holding him in a headlock. Oh yeah, Old Hood loved this place too, Harley said, looking over his shoulder. Funny, I was always thought he was more of a pub guy, Ivy said as she looked over Naruto's other shoulder. Oh, he was. He had a few dining spots. Until Joker blew them up, Harley said sheepishly, as she may have helped do up a few of them back in the day. Before anything else was said, they saw a black hover car park across the street, and out stepped Terry, who opened the backseat door for Bruce. Holy CRP, is that old man Wayne or the Crypt Keeper? Harley asked as she spotted Bruce. I need to remember that one. That was good, babe, Naruto said as he had seen the old Tales from the Crypt show with Jason. Why are you three here? Bruce asked with a glare. Oh, I'm reminiscing, so don't worry, old man. I'm an anti-hero now, remember? I mean, unless Puddin here wants me to be bad, Harley purred out as she hugged Naruto into her melons. Well, he's slightly better than your last boyfriend, Bruce said flatly as Naruto got loose from Harley. Ha! Since when do you have jokes? Harley laughed. Who's joking? Bruce asked as he walked towards a building with Terry following. You walked into that one, Ivy said with a chuckle at Harley, who pouted cutely. I'm more offended I'm only slightly better than the Joker to him, Naruto muttered before the three followed after Terry and Bruce. So why go through the trouble of preserving this place? Isn't progress a good thing? Terry asked Bruce. The city council wants to preserve the land, but they don't have the funding. That theater right there. That's where I went with my parents that night. And that alleyway is where they, Bruce said, pointing at a theater and a nearby alleyway. Wouldn't you want this place torn down though? To forget? Terry asked Bruce, who looked at him. Do you want to forget what happened to your father? Bruce asked seriously. Terry said nothing to this, but he clenched his fists. Besides, there was more than just pain in this part of Gotham for me. Bruce said, looking over to the alleyway and seeing a memory play out of a younger him as Batman come out of a building to find a boy stealing the tires off the Batmobile, only to be caught by Batman himself and drop a tire winch in surprise as Batman looked on. Ivy, would you be able to make me a few flowers? Bruce asked the former plant villainess. Sure, Ivy said as she quickly made a small bouquet and handed it to Bruce, who nodded and took them before hobbling over to the alleyway to place them down. We'll leave you guys alone for a bit, Naruto said as he, Harley, and Ivy started to walk away. Terry nodded before he heard Ace barking erratically from the car. I better see what's bugging the mutt, Terry said as he also walked away. Moments later, Bruce walked out of the alleyway and headed into a nearby barred-off building. Breaking it open and heading inside before coming face to face with an old wanted poster of the Joker. Bruce stared at the poster for a moment, remembering everything the clown had ever done before moving away. Unknowing of the figure following him. Shreve in his sound suit. As Shreve pointed his palm at Bruce, a gun was put to the back of his head. Give me a reason, as Naruto said while in his Red Hood outfit. Shreve held up his hands as if surrendering before he turned his palms around and unleashed a sonic vibration from his palms at Naruto, who quickly jumped away to avoid having his skull split open. Sound, huh? That's a first, Naruto said as he jumped back next to Harley and Ivy. F his sound. Harley yelled as she jumped at Shreve with her mallet while in her hero outfit and started trying to batter him. Get out of here, Wayne, Naruto ordered as he pulled out his pistols and started to rush at Shreve. Laying down fire once Harley backed off from attacking Shreve. Shreve held up his hands and fired a sound wave once more, stopping Naruto's laser bullets from the vibrations. Oh, that's some bullshit. How does sound cancel out plasma? Naruto yelled. Must be high frequency, Ivy said as she used her vines to try and grab at Shreve's legs. Shreve however used a very high frequency palm burst towards the ceiling to bring it down all of them. Rubble started to collapse as a stray slab of concrete fell upon the fleeing, elderly Wayne. SHT. Naruto growled seeing this before he tackled Harley out of the way of a falling slab of concrete that would have crushed her. When Naruto looked up he saw Shreve about to claw Bruce while he was down before a batarang suddenly slammed into the sonic emitter on his right hand. Shorting it out. Step away from the old man, Terry said in his Batman garb. Batman, you and Red Hood get Harley and Wayne out of here, Ivy ordered as she summoned a multitude of vines and sent them at Shreve, who knocked out his damaged emitter from his hand and ran like hell. DMN it. Ivy yelled as her vines missed the fleeing villain before she helped get the others out as the building finally collapsed. As they ran out, Terry picked up the damaged sonic emitter left by Shreve. With Powers. Powers was in his office watching the news about how Bruce was taken to the hospital, and as he turned off the TV he noticed Shreve in his office with his helmet off. What happened? Powers asks with a firm tone. I was about to attack him, but next thing I know I'm being attacked by not only Red Hood and Batman but some women who think they are those old villains Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. Shreve answered. Not the two jester heroines? Powers asked curiously as he had seen news reports of the twin white and red jester heroines. No, not them. It was obviously Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, or at least wannabes. I was able to demolish one of the buildings for you, Shreve informed. I see. Powers frowned at this info. I'll get Wayne though. He won't escape me, Shreve told Powers. He is in the hospital. With guards. What could you possibly do to end him? Powers asked, disbelieving this. Watch me, Shreve told him firmly. New York City. Inside a nice apartment, a blonde-haired elderly woman was sitting at her table while a younger woman with black hair was feeding her 3 cats. The woman had DD cup melons, a curvy body, and a heart-shaped peach. In today's celebrity news. Former CEO of Wayne Industries, now Wayne Powers, Bruce Wayne has been hospitalized after an attack from an unknown culprit in Gotham's historical district. Fortunately, the timely intervention of Batman and Red Hood saved Mr. Wayne. Mr. Wayne is currently staying in Gotham Memorial Hospital and was unable to comment at this time, a news anchor on a TV said before switching to a different topic. The elderly woman stiffened up at this news. Mom. The woman with black hair asked, concerned seeing her mother freeze up. I'm fine, Helena, but we need to pack our bags. We're heading to Gotham, the woman said seriously. Okay. The woman said, a little confused at her mother's tone. So you finally passed on the cape and cowl, Bruce? Then it's time for you to meet your daughter, the elderly woman thought as she stood up. Gotham Memorial Hospital. Terry and Naruto stood outside a hospital room as Terry was on the phone with Dana. Hey Dana, I'm sorry. Mr. Wayne's in the hospital. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it tonight for our date, Terry told her. God damn it, Terry. Dana yelled through the phone, making Terry pull his phone away from his ear. Naruto winced at this as he watched Terry try to calm Dana down. I can watch him if you need to go, man, Naruto told Terry, who was getting screamed at by Dana. Get out of here. Bruce's voice was heard screaming from the nearby room as a nurse came running out terrified. How's he doing? Naruto asked the nurse. You can go in and see him if you really want to, the nurse told him, looking a little shaken. Meanwhile, Terry finally got off the phone with Dana. Terry went inside and Naruto looked inside and noticed Bruce was wearing a bandage on his head. Wait a minute, Naruto thought as he had Ivy check Bruce when he fell and she said he didn't have any head wounds. Naruto then looked at the nurse, who was walking over to her desk but looked nervous as she looked over her paperwork. Can you believe these people want to keep me overnight? Bruce growled out. Hating the idea he'd have to stay in the hospital. Think of it as a vacation. Right, Naruto, Terry joked, but saw Naruto looking inquisitively at the bandage. That nurse say why you have to wear the bandage? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. She said I had a small wound, Bruce said. Really? Cause the DR on the scene said you had no wounds, Naruto said, not saying Ivy's name. Bruce and Terry paused at this as they both knew Ivy was still technically a doctor, as was Harley. Let me see something, Naruto said, walking over to Bruce. Naruto gently took off the bandage and saw there was indeed no wound, but on the bandage was an electronic device of some kind. What is that? Terry asked as he looked over Naruto's shoulder. No idea. But I'm guessing it's connected to the sonic emitter you picked up, Naruto told Terry. I'm calling Barbara, this is evidence, Bruce said as he took out his phone. You do that, I'll go talk to the nurse who put that bandage on you, Naruto said as he walked towards the door. He's gonna interrogate someone in broad daylight? Terry asked, concerned. Jason did it sometimes, make sure he doesn't get physical. Bruce ordered Terry. Roger that, Terry said, following after Naruto, who was tailing the nurse from before until she went into an empty hospital bedroom and took a breath. You seem a little nervous. Isn't that bad for a nurse to be? Naruto asked, coming up behind her. Oh. Well, the job can be stressful, the nurse quickly said as she composed herself. Yes, I suppose it would. Being part of the last line of defense between someone living and someone dying. I can only imagine the pressure one would have taking this job. Especially in a city like Gotham. Lots of violence daily. And I'm sure you don't get paid enough despite everything you do, Naruto said in a tone that told her he knew she did something to Bruce. The nurse was saying, looking like she was gonna bolt. Look, let's cut this CRP and get to the point. I found what you put under the old man's bandage. I'm afraid this may cause you trouble doing such a thing to a man like Bruce Wayne, Naruto told her. The nurse started to sweat at this. But I suppose we could be charitable to your situation if you talk to the police we called after we found the little toy you put under his bandage, Naruto said with a calm tone. The nurse stuttered. And any money he gave you would still be yours, of course, that is if he gave you any money, Naruto said with a kind smile and a wink. I'll talk, the nurse said after weighing her options. Good, go back to your desk and wait for the cops. Are we clear? Naruto asked. Why yes, the nurse said, still nervous. After the nurse left the bedroom, Naruto walked out and noticed Terry waiting for him. DMN dude, I think I prefer you when you're making threats with a gun, Terry told him, impressed. Yeah, Jason taught me when it comes to interrogating civilians the carrot and stick method usually works if they are not criminals. Naruto told him. Mind if I use that? Terry asked as they walked back to Bruce's room. Go ahead, dude. By the way, how's Dana taking you not showing up? Naruto asked. She's mad but said I only got a pass cause Bruce was hurt, Terry sighed. Dude, you need to tell her the truth or she's gonna eventually dump you, Naruto told him. I know but Terry was saying. Yeah, I know the old man, but he did the same SHT and look how he turned out. No life. No love. Only kids he had wanting nothing to do with him, Naruto pointed out. Point made, but, Terry was saying. Look, think on it. I'll deal with Bruce if he gets a attitude if you take my advice. Naruto told him as they re-entered Bruce's room and saw Barbara was already here. Wow, you work fast, you old bat, Naruto said with a smile at Barbara. I see he has Jason's manners, Barbara said stoically looking over at Naruto. And his short fuse. Now the nurse down the hall is ready to talk. No, I didn't hurt her. Naruto said when Bruce looked to him. You know I should arrest you for being vigilantes, right? Barbara pointed out. And if you did you would go down 2 bat nips, Naruto smirked. He swore he'd never Barbara was saying, but Naruto cut her off. Yeah, well, I was his kid and he mentioned you and Bruce while drunk, EW, by the way. Naruto said with a shudder. Watch your tone, you brat, Barbara glared at Naruto. Oh, don't get pissy at me cause you couldn't stop from cheating on your boyfriend with his father figure and getting knocked up by him. You wanna blame Bruce for F up your life or some SHT? Well, newsflash, commissioner. You're just as responsible for your own actions, Naruto told her. Everyone was silent at this. Oh no way. Jerry Jerry. Jerry. Harley yelled, announcing her presence at the window. Harley. Barbara yelled before she grabbed at her gun, but Naruto stepped in front of the commissioner's shot. Long time no see, brat girl, don't worry, I don't hold a grudge for you dropping me, Harley said with a grin. Did you check on powers? Naruto asked. Yup, he did hire the guy who did this puddin', Harley said with a salute. You get a name? Bruce asked curiously, deciding to just go with this. Yupper, some guy named Shreve, Harley said as she smiled. You get an address? Terry asked curiously. Ivy got that, she's dropping it off at the cowl, Harley said. The cowl? Naruto, Terry, and Bruce questioned. I thought Puddin's base could use a cool name, Harley said. Okay, back up. Ivy is back too? Barbara demanded. They've been back. They're doing an anti-hero thing. Get with the program, you old bat, Naruto explained. Your tax dollars at work, Harley said with a giggle. You people know I can arrest all of you, right? It'd be legal and I'd enjoy doing the paperwork of locking each of you up. And lose help against villains you can't win against. Ha, good luck, saggy batty. Harley. Ha. God, I love you, Naruto said with a smile at Harley at her dig at Barbara. Enough. I'll just investigate the site here and leave some extra guards for Mr. Wayne, Barabara said tersely. Me and Naruto will go after Shreve, Terry said. Ivy and I will help. The twins will do regular patrols, Harley said. You can't just expect me to sit here and do nothing, Bruce glared. Relax, old man, we have this. Now let's go. Naruto said as he and Terry left the room while Harley leapt out the window to the city below. What even is my life anymore, Bruce muttered at the chaos around him. It was somehow crazier than his original Bat family's antics. The cowl. Naruto and Terry stopped into Naruto Condo to get the address for Shreve's place. So how do you want to handle this? Naruto asked Terry as he and the civilian Dark Knight entered the condo, and Naruto went over to a bookshelf before pulling a book and the shelf slid aside, revealing Naruto's Red Hood gear and lab. Well, it's daylight, I think we don't need our full gear, Terry said. That's a dumb move. It's always best to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it, Naruto told him. Just trust me on this. I'll get answers from Shreve with a disguise, Terry told him with a thick Brooklyn accent confidently as Naruto picked up a paper with the address. This is a terrible idea. I'll be nearby as Red Hood. Naruto told him. Hey, before you suit up, can I ask Neobats a favor? Harley asked from the doorway as she entered and grabbed a baseball bat. Sure, what? Terry said with a raised eyebrow as he didn't expect Harley to ask for a favor. Can you say booyah for me in your normal voice, she asked. Naruto snorted at this as he knew what Harley was doing. Am I missing something? Terry asked curiously. You ever see the old cartoon Kim Possible? Naruto asked. I think so, why? Terry asked confused. You sound like Ron, Harley smirked. Terry froze at this and groaned as he realized Harley was right. Okay babe, you embattled my friend enough, so gear up and let's go, Naruto said as he chuckled at Harley's antics. Oh come on, can you at least yelp you summon the Red Eyes Black Dragon with the accent? Harley asked as she geared up. Terry groaned at this while Naruto burst out laughing. I don't sound like Joey Wheeler, Terry exclaimed at the two. With that accent you totally do, Naruto smirked. No I don't, Terry affirmed. Then say the line, Harley grinned. Ugh fine, I summon the Red Eyes Black Dragon, Terry said in the Brooklyn accent before his eyes widened. Ah CRP, he groaned as Harley and Naruto laughed. Booyah. Ringtone. Harley yelled as she held up her phone which she was hiding and played back his sayings before she walked out. Never tell Dana about any of this, Terry said to Naruto. Dang, I was gonna tell her to dress up as my for you, Naruto chuckled out. Terry thought about this before he shook his head. Let's just go, Terry said. "We'll take my bike," Naruto said as he clicked a button on his watch and was in his Red Hood outfit. "Batmobile is better," Terry said as he tried not to be jealous. "You can say that when you give Dana a ride in the Batmobile," Naruto told him, shirking. Terry grumbled at this before they left the condo. Shreve's laboratory. "Come on. Come on," Terry said in his fake Brooklyn accent, wearing a yellow shirt and holding a box of pizza in his hand as he rang a bell. "We need to work on your fake voices after this," Naruto said through a communicator hidden in Terry's ear as he was surveying from a nearby rooftop. Before Terry could retort, Shreve came through the door. "What are you doing here?" Shreve asked as he answered the door. "Yeah, I got a pizza delivery," Terry said in his fake accent before getting himself inside out of pity from Shreve. Meanwhile, across the street on a rooftop, Naruto, Harley and Ivy were keeping an eye on Terry. "He's so gonna get busted," Ivy said with a flat tone as she watched, rolling her eyes. "Oh, absolutely," Naruto said as he pulled out his pistols and turned a dial on them. "Whatcha thinking?" Harley asked curiously. "Electroshock lasers. His suit and tech can most likely be shorted out, so electricity seems the best bet," Naruto explained before they saw a wall suddenly burst open. "It's go time," Naruto said as he ran to the edge of the roof and leapt off towards the new hole in the laboratory. "Wait for us, Pudden," Harley yelled as she readied her bat and ran after Naruto along with Ivy. Terry ran out of the lab holding a sonic emitter and ran down the street away as Shreve chased him down. Before Shreve could fire at Terry, an electrified laser blast struck his chest, making him yell in pain as his suit locked up before Ivy's vines grabbed him and hung him upside down. "Guess electricity is a bad thing for that suit. Paralysis, huh? That's bad for you," Naruto said as he walked towards the upside-down Shreve. "And now for the tenderizing. Take this piñata," Harley yelled as she swung her mallet and smacked Shreve in the face, knocking him out. "Well, that was easy. Good job being bait, Joey," Naruto said with a chuckle at Terry, who walked over to them. "F you hood," Terry groaned as he knew this was gonna be a regular GG now. "Hey, that's my job, damn it," Harley yelled out in annoyance. "I'll make it up to you later, babe," Naruto said as he smacked Harley's peach. Looking forward to it, little boy," Harley giggled. "Okay, let's get this shrieking fool to the cops," Ivy said. "No need, after that blast they should be here soon," Naruto said as they soon heard police sirens and saw news crews start coming to investigate. "Cheese it," Harley yelled as she grabbed Naruto and Ivy and ran off. "Oi," Terry said as he ran off, feeling a headache just from hearing Harley talk. Jump City. In an apartment in Jump City, a tall woman with long orange hair, orange skin, and green eyes, wearing a metallic purple brassiere and skirt, was sparring hand to hand with a younger woman with black hair and green eyes wearing a cack version of the same outfit. The orange-haired woman had E-cup melons, a curvy body, and a plump peach, while the black-haired woman had DD-cup melons, a curvy body, and a plump peach. Local scientist in Gotham City Martin Shreve was arrested today after he was apprehended by the Red Hood for his attempt on billionaire Bruce Wayne's life. Martin Shreve is now facing 30 years without parole, a news reporter said. This made the orange-skinned woman pause in surprise before she was slugged by the younger woman. "Oh. Sorry, Mom," the black-haired woman said as he quickly went to check on her mother, who was the hero Starfire, or Corey to her friends and family. "It is all right, Mari. I was just caught by surprise by the news report," Corey admitted as she looked at the TV. Mari looked at the TV and saw an image of the Red Hood. "Is that the Jason you and father once worked with?" Mari asked curiously. "I don't believe so," Corey said in thought before she frowned. She didn't like the idea that someone else was using Jason's moniker. "Oh geez, we're heading for Gotham, aren't we?" Mari asked as she knew whenever her mother got mad she became stubborn. "A wonderful idea, daughter. Let your father know we shall be doing a trip to Gotham and will be unavailable for his custody day." "Well, I was looking to start college in Gotham, so while we're there you can hunt down this Red Hood," Mari said as she nodded to her mother. "Splendid." Starfire cheered and left to go pack her bags. A day later, Wayne Manor. After getting the shareholders' vote for not demolishing the historic district, Naruto, Bruce, and Terry returned to the manor to see Delia, Deirdre, Harley, and Ivy outside. "What could you all possibly need?" Bruce demanded as he hobbled. Well," Delia was saying. "You have 2 visitors inside," Deirdre finished, looking nervous. "Visitors?" Bruce asked with a frown. He didn't get visitors. He preferred it that way. "Who are they?" Naruto asked curiously. "It's better to see for yourselves," Ivy said while Harley just grinned like a loon. "Oh, this must be good," Naruto said, seeing Harley's smile. Bruce hobbled into the manor and saw an elderly blonde woman and a younger woman with black hair sitting on a couch. "Took you long enough." "Hello, Bruce," the elderly woman said. "Selena," Bruce said with a hard tone as he approached. "Oh, don't be like that, Brucey," Selena said with a smirk. "Why are you here?" Bruce demanded. "We heard above your latest brush with death and I wanted to clear something up since you apparently have a new successor," Selena said as she looked over at Naruto. "He looks quite capable," she said with a smirk. Actually I'm the new Red Hood," Naruto said with a sheepish smile. "Ah, so the new bad is?" Selena said as she looked at Terry. "That's me, and who are you?" Terry asked. "Oh, he didn't tell you about me but named you his successor." TSK Brucey," Selena shook her head. "Well, I just started months ago, so which of his ex-dance partners are you?" Terry asked. "Hey Whiskers. Are you still talking to Kitty Litter?" Harley yelled as he kicked open the door and walked in. "God damn it, Harley," Naruto groaned. Terry raised an eyebrow at Harley's name for Selena before his eyes widened. "You're Catwoman?" he asked, surprised. "And he finally knows." "Give the boy a cookie," Selena smirked. "And the young woman with you?" Bruce asked, seeing the black-haired woman looking at the old paintings nearby. "Ah, yes. Meet your daughter Brucey," Selena said with grin. This got silence from everyone for a few moments. Kaya ha 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 ha. "I'll say it again. Jerry. Jerry. Jerry." Harley cackled as she pumped her fist in the air while Deirdre and Delia laughed with her. Bruce sighed and pinched his nose at this while Naruto and Ivy tried in vain to silence Harley, and the twins and Terry just stood eyes wide at this info. Wayne Manor. Bruce, Selena, and Helena sat in the Batcave with Bruce. Naruto had dragged Harley, Delia, and Deirdre, with Ivy's help, up into the mansion to let Bruce talk with Selena and Helena. Terry also stayed upstairs as he had to plan a date with Dana to make up for missing their last one earlier this week. So now here Bruce sat in the Batcave chair looking across from a standing Selena as Helena took a look around the cave, admiring the various trophies and bat suits before she joined her mother. Bruce could expect a lot in his crazy life before he died. But being in front of his old lover Selena Kyle and their daughter Helena was not expected at all. He looked at Helena closely. Seeing she was the spitting image of her mother, though she had inherited some of Bruce's traits like his black hair and blue eyes, Bruce couldn't help but also see a bit of his own mother Martha in the young woman in front of him. "So Bruce, how have you been?" Selena asked. "I was about to ask you that. It's been 25 years, you never bothered writing me." Bruce said. "We didn't exactly part on the best terms," Selena said, looking down. "There were times I wanted to, though I really did." "So why didn't you?" Bruce asked. He had a right to know they had a daughter after all. "I didn't know what to say, how you'd react if I told you," Selena replied. "That's something else I want to know. Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? I would have been there even if you didn't want marriage. I still would have raised our child with you," Bruce said. Yes, you would. But we both really know the reason I couldn't tell you, the same as why we couldn't get married," Selena said, causing Bruce to lower his head, knowing what she meant. "No matter how much I would have begged or pleaded, you would have kept going on as Batman. The thought of retiring was never in your mind." You felt that same way when you had to give up being Catwoman for a time. Bruce replied, recalling the time Selena would don her cat persona and strike into the night despite her probation. Yes, that's true, I missed the thrill, the danger, the excitement. But when I learned about Helena I realized that I couldn't keep living that life. I had to be there for my child. I would have been there for her too. Bruce argued. Sometimes, other times you'd be gone either fighting some demented clowns, mutated criminals or aliens. Do you know, for 10 years I kept reading the papers to see if they'd have your obituary? Selena said, causing Bruce's eyes to widen but turned away. I'm sorry I disappointed you. Bruce said. I was happy I didn't. But still I knew you couldn't be the father Helena needed after what happened with PP, Jason, Tim, and Barbara. You just kept pushing people away and the cowl was taking over your life. I had a right to know about our daughter, Bruce said. That's another thing, Bruce. Selena yelled, cutting him off. Our daughter. What do you think would happen to her? Being Bruce Wayne's daughter would draw enough attention, but being Batman's daughter? Do you know what criminals would do to her? What would the Joker have done to her? He was willing to grind me into cat food just to get to you. What do you think he would have done to our child? Selena shot back, with Bruce biting his lip. He wanted to say something. Any kind of comeback, but he couldn't fight the fact that Selena was right. That's why I had to leave Gotham. A part of me wanted to ask you, but we both know you could never leave it for too long. Selena said firmly, knowing that Gotham was such a part of Bruce that no matter what he wouldn't stay gone from it. Why now then? Why after all this time did you finally decide to introduce us now? Bruce asked. We saw the news reports about your new kid along with the new Red Hood, and Helena wanted to see this city at least once. Selena said simply. Surprised she's not taking up your spandex kitty litter, Harley said, coming down the steps cartwheeling. DMN it, Harley. Naruto yelled, chasing after her. He literally had been trying to drag her away while Terry also ran after him. I have no interest in being the new Catwoman. I was always more of a Batman fan as a kid, Helena said calmly, gazing at her father's old black and gray suit. Though I doubt that would happen given your new Batman, Helena said, her gaze turning from the suit to Terry. Well, we could use a Batgirl that isn't a moron, oof. Naruto was saying before Terry elbowed him in the gut. Helena, I didn't bring us here so you could fulfill a fantasy from when you were 10. I figured the time finally came for you to meet your dad. Besides that, I don't really want you to take up that cowl or even mine, Selena told her. Yeah, well, it's not your choice, is it? Helena asked with a glare reminiscent of Bruce's own. Oh DMN, she has her dad's glare. Harley giggled. We're getting off topic, Bruce spoke up calmly. Agreed, Helena, why don't you have one of the others show you around the city while your dad and I discuss some things? Not Harley or the twins, Bruce said firmly, seeing Harley about to raise her hand. Oh. I wanted to show my goddaughter all the cool spots, Harley groaned before she pouted. You're not her godmother, Harley, Selena sighed. Oh, Harley pouted even more. I'd do it, but I need to make up a date with Dana, Terry said. You go. Terry, I'll do it, Naruto told his friend, as he had no plans today so he could do it before he patrols later. I think that's a wonderful idea, Selena said with a smile. You touch her and they won't find your body, Bruce warned Naruto. Little late to be the overprotective father, isn't it, Brucey? Selena asked with a chuckle. Yeah, plus I'm 25. If I want to see someone I'm allowed to. Helena said calmly to her father as her and Naruto left, leaving the room silent. I give him a week before he's ballin' her, Harley said with a giggle. Her laughter growing, seeing Bruce's teeth gritting and his cane starting to splinter in his grip. Don't you have anything better to do, Harley? Bruce asked. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go stalk Whiskers and your daughter and see what happens. Harley giggled before running up the stairs. So how exactly is Harley young again? Selena asked curiously. Ivy, Bruce responded. Ah. Well, there goes my chance of getting the same thing then, Selena shrugged, knowing Ivy had a few issues with her in the past. Mostly after Selena destroyed a rare plant of hers. Selena then took a seat on a nearby chair and sat across from Bruce. Now I may as well tell you about our daughter before you end up trying to get to know her and end up pissing her off somehow, Selena said. With Naruto and Helena. Naruto was escorting Helena through the city. The young woman taking in the sights of Neo-Gotham. So how's it feel to be in your hometown? Well, at least your parents' hometown. Naruto asked curiously. It feels just like how my mom described. Though it looks to me like they go through a lot of trouble to bury the old. Helena said, seeing all the new and tall buildings that were built over historic landmarks. That's for sure. So what was it like living with you, Mom? Naruto asked. It was pretty nice, I learned a lot from her and Maven. Helena said. Maven? Oh yeah, your mom's secretary. I thought she was done with the Catwoman business once your mom went from criminal activist to just criminal. Naruto said before he noticed the trademark Wayne glare Helena gave him. Sorry. He sheepishly said. Don't sweat it. It's true she did, but when she heard about Mom doing good and especially when she heard she was PRGN and they patched things up, she even put us up for a while. It was a nice peaceful life, but that got boring over time. When I got into high school I had this little habit of robbing these pampered snobby popular kids blind. I know I didn't have to, but they just kept showing off and acting like the world revolved around them. They were begging to be ripped off. Helena said, leaning against nearby rail looking up at the moon. Sounds like something you got from both your parents. Naruto smirked. I guess so. Helena smirked. So did you ever ask your mom about your dad? Naruto asked. As a kid constantly, but she'd just brush it off like it wasn't important. Then once I found out about her past I started putting things together on my own and confronted her about it. Helena said. Were you mad? Naruto asked. For a time, yeah. But I could understand why she did it. Not every wife wants to spend sleepless nights waiting for her husband to come home broken, battered, bleeding or worse. And I guess she didn't want me to get drawn into that life too. But I wanted the chance to choose for myself. Helena said as she thought about the past. That's for sure. You should always have the right to choose what path you set out on, not what someone else picked out for you. Naruto said. So how did it feel to meet your old man after all these years? Well, we haven't really met yet. That'll come later I suppose, but he's just like Mom described him, a stubborn old man who's got trouble moving on. But deep down he's a good person, just buried so far underneath years of grief and pain. Helena said as she could see that much in her father's eyes. That's for sure. Jason said the same thing. Naruto said, recalling his mentor saying the same thing. Yep, but my mom said he actually used to be fun to hang around in and out of costume. He smiled, made jokes, like this one time he had the Joker hanging from some lava and he was looking pretty tempted. Helena giggled. No way that was true. Naruto said. Yeah, there was this other time this guy was about to do the Joker up with his own bomb. Turns out it was just a dud and Dad burst out laughing when he saw the Joker about to pee his pants. I just hope having you and your mom here helps get that bug out the old man's ass. He really needs his family by him. Now more than ever. Naruto said with Helena smiling. I know Mom said that same thing. Helena said. The two smiled as they started walking around the city again, looking up into the night sky. You don't think they wanted you out the manor so they could, Naruto asked after a moment. Gross, but maybe. Helena shuddered. She barely knew her father at the moment, but she didn't want to think about her mother and father getting it on at this age. Yeah, sorry I asked. So you wanted to take up the cowl, huh? Naruto asked, changing the subject. When I was young. Maybe part of me still does. Maybe a part of me feels like it's a birthright thing for me to inherit, but I suppose it's moot since he has a successor, Helena said. Hey, just 'cause we have a new Batman doesn't mean we can't have a Batwoman or Batgirl. If you have the skill, I'm sure the old man would let you. And if not, I'll remind him of how many children he brought into the field in red, yellow, and green tights against gun-wielding psychopaths at night. Naruto smirked. Hee hee. Maybe part of me does want the cowl. To be a hero. But Mom would never let me, Helena said in thought. You do realize you can throw her cat days in her face if she has a problem, right? Naruto pointed out. I could, but Mom gave up being Catwoman to raise me. Even if she didn't want to, she did. It would feel like a bitter taste in my mouth if I did that. Helena admitted before she felt a hand on her shoulder. I can't tell you what to do or not to do, but I see something in you. Something that maybe you buried deep down but I recognize. A drive. A determination. I have a feeling if you did decide to take up a cowl like your parents you'd be even better than them, Naruto said. You don't even know me, Helena said, a little surprised at the conviction found in his words. Maybe not, but I see it in your eyes. It's something that I like to think Jason saw in me. Something Bruce saw in Terry. Maybe your mom sees it too and just wants to protect you from it. Regardless though, it's your decision, Naruto told her with a small smile. Helena let Naruto's words ring in her head. Did she really have what it takes? True, her mother taught her self-defense for years, but did that truly qualify her to just become a vigilante? Hey, don't worry about it. You think about it. No sense rushing into it after all, Naruto said. Come on, let's continue your tour of Neo Gotham, Naruto offered. Helena nodded at this as she followed Naruto. Ah, how sweet whiskers, Harley said from a distance behind them. Wearing a fedora, trench coat, and fake mustache. For a disguise. The next day, Terry and Naruto were patrolling as Batman and Red Hood. Seeing as it was the weekend, Bruce wanted them to check out a few hotspots for potential criminal activities. So far they had found nothing though. So slow was it that Naruto was communicating with Delia and Deirdre to pass the time. So anything, Pudden? Delia asked. Nothing yet, how about you two? Naruto asked as they were covering the south of the city. Harley and Ivy were meanwhile back at Naruto's safe house. Nada. Sis and I are gonna call it soon since we're supposed to meet up with Dana, Chelsea, and Blade at the club in like an hour. After all, you and Terry are meeting us there, so we have to get there early, Deirdre said. Before Naruto could respond, he saw some commotion on a nearby yacht at the pier. Gotta go, babe, duty calls, Naruto said as he revved his flying motorcycle and followed after Terry. The two flew over to the yacht to see people dressed up like playing cards robbing the people on the yacht. The Royal Flush Gang is still a thing. Wow, you guys must be desperate to stand out, Naruto said as he jumped off his motorcycle and landed on the deck of the yacht. His pistols drawn. Meanwhile, Terry had thrown a batarang at the one dressed like a jack playing card, knocking his dagger out of his hand as he then tackled him away. So the Batman and Red Hood have graciously deigned us with their presence, I see, the one dressed like a king said with his sword pointed towards Naruto. Oh, someone has read a thesaurus, Naruto said with a mocking tone as he opened fire on the charging big gang member that had an A symbol on him. Ha, durable one ain't ya, Naruto said, seeing his basic plasma blasts did nothing. Not even penetrating the skin. The behemoth-like man silently raised his hands and tried to deliver an axe handle to Naruto, who rolled out of the way. Naruto's helmet scanned Ace. Its display showing Naruto some information. Ah, an android, huh? Goody, I can use this, Naruto said as he put his pistols together, which combined and took the form of a double-barreled shotgun. Since when was that an option for you? Terry asked while fighting off Ten and Jack with his bare hands. He knew Naruto's pistols could form a sniper when combined, not a shotgun. Made a few modifications last night, think fast, Tin Man. Naruto said before shouting the last part and blasting a large scattershot of plasma into the android's chest and sending the android flying into a wall. Perhaps we should leave, dear, the woman dressed like a queen said to the king. Ah, the smart one is also the hot one, Naruto said with a chuckle as he aimed at King. Sorry dear, but this is why I came back to Gotham, King said as he approached Naruto with his blade and sent a few swipes of his blade before Naruto caught the blade with his hand. To get your sword shoved up your peach by the Red Hood? Because if so, you're in luck. Naruto smirked at the king. Before he could make good on his threat, however, a small explosion set off as Queen used her scepter on a control panel, setting off more explosions through the ship as it started to sink. Better make a choice, Hood. Us or the passengers, Queen said as she watched Batman block a strike from Ten before he ran off to help save civilians. Naruto scowled at this before he ran to help Terry get the civilians to safety. The explosions not only made the ship slowly sink but also sent passengers overboard. Naruto ran as fast as he could to grab a blonde woman that fell overboard by her wrist, saving her from falling into the ocean but unable to move as more people started to fall overboard, and forced to see the Royal Flush gang flee on their flying playing cards. Until two blurs shot past his eyes. One black and purple and the other orange and purple. The people falling into the water disappearing from his line of sight as they were caught by something. Old man, did you call for backup from anyone? Naruto asked into his communicator. No, I didn't, but they are allies, Bruce said as Naruto looked to the side and saw Starfire and Nightstar descend onto the deck of the ship holding several passengers. Everyone into the lifeboats. A rich man ordered the saved civilians as Naruto brought the woman he saved over to the lifeboat. Later on a rooftop. Naruto and Terry stood on a rooftop looking over the pier as the police arrived to find out what happened. Naruto looked to the side and saw Starfire and Nightstar flying towards them. Hey, thanks for the hey. Naruto was saying before Starfire grabbed him by the front of his jacket and lifted him in the air. Where did you get my old friend's equipment? Who gave you permission to use his name? Starfire demanded, her eyes glowing green with energy. He was my mentor and he passed it to me, DMN it. Now put me down. Naruto growled out as he pulled out his pistols in case she didn't let him go. Mom, calm down. You said we'd calmly speak with him for using your friend Jason's name. Nightstar said. Starfire took a breath before lowering down and setting Naruto down on his feet. Jeez. You know, when I was younger I always wanted a close encounter with Starfire, but I never expected it to be with a threat of bodily harm, Naruto said as he reholstered his pistols. If Jason is your mentor, then where is he now? I would like to speak with him, Starfire said firmly. Sorry to have to tell you, but Jason died months ago. He trained me as the new Red Hood till the very end. He even adopted me. Naruto said before he pulled off his helmet, I know he trusted you immensely, so I will as well. My name is Naruto Uzumaki Todd, Naruto said, showing them his face to establish trust. After all, Starfire worked with Jason as part of the Outlaws. She had a right to know her friend's legacy was being honored at least. Starfire's eyes widened at this before she closed her eyes for a moment to compose herself. He didn't die in battle, I hope, Starfire said. Fishing to learn how he died. No. He was fighting off an illness for years. He found me when I was 8 years old on the street and took me in and trained me to take up his mantle. Though I think he'd have rather been in a fight and died rather than passed away to illness, Naruto explained. Yes, that sounds like Jason, Starfire said with a chuckle as she thought about her friend. Hey Naruto, do you still need me here? I'm kind of late for my date as it is, Terry asked as he hovered in the air. I'm not keeping you. Get going. Tell the twins I'll be a bit due to an unforeseen meeting with 2 bombshells, Naruto said as he put back on his mask. Will do, Terry said before he flew off. So are we done here? Naruto asked Starfire. I still have some questions and would like to at the very least test you at some point while we stay in Gotham. I want to make sure my friend's mantle is being upheld well enough, Starfire. Fair enough. Now who are you? I didn't know Starfire had a kid, Naruto said as he turned to look at Nightstar. Call me Nightstar, she said with a nod at Naruto. I'm gonna guess Nightwing's kid then if you're rocking a codename like that, Naruto stated more than asked. Well, at least Jason chose a smart successor, Starfire said with a small smile. Seemed like the most likely choice given what happened between him and old Sagibati. Naruto said with a smirk under his mask. Nightstar snorted at this, trying not to laugh at this, while Starfire smiled and giggled. How is Nightwing anyways? Jason only ever told me he retired after some punk injured him, Naruto asked. He's fine, still nothing but serious, Starfire said, being vague, as while she wasn't with him anymore she didn't hate him. The same guy who constantly cracked jokes while beating up criminals is now a buzzkill? Naruto asked. He kinda changed when he started the Titans and slowly got worse. Once his injury happened and he had to retire, he became way more serious than ever. Hell, he even forbade me from taking up a hero mantle, Nightstar said as she shook her head. Forbidding a part Tamaranian from fighting? Ha! Good luck with that. Your people are like on fire scions without the tails and shifting hair colors, Naruto said with a laugh. You know of my people? Starfire asked curiously, as not many had knowledge of her people. I know some stuff. I looked up all kinds of information on Jason's friends. Naruto said with a shrug. Well, at least you didn't look up info on Mom because of some perverse CRP due to her whole modeling career, Nightstar said. Naruto said, trailing off. Nightstar groaned at this. Hey, I was just hitting PBRTY then, so don't judge me. Naruto yelled, making Starfire giggle and Nightstar to sigh. Regardless of that, we should probably find a place to stay for tonight. Come Mari, we shall meet with you later on for your test, Mr. Uzumaki, Starfire said as she and Nightstar started to float before they left. Naruto watched them leave and lightly chuckled as he checked them out. You should probably get to your date instead of ogling two Tamaranians, Bruce said boredly through the comm of Naruto's suit. How much did you hear of that? Naruto asked, forgetting Bruce was listening in. Oh, we all heard everything, Selena said through the comm as well, audibly smirking. Helena's there too, isn't she? Naruto deadpanned. Not so much, she's busy looking into getting a job here, Selena said with her smirk turning a frown, knowing why her daughter wanted the job. And wasn't exactly happy to see that her daughter wanted to be a vigilante like her father. I suppose I have you to thank for her wish to don a cowl, Selena said. I only spoke with her. She was at war with herself to even consider taking up one. I only offered her advice for whether she did or didn't. Naruto said as he hopped aboard his hover motorcycle. You are responsible for helping her get used to the job, Bruce said firmly, knowing it was best to at least have Naruto help her. Especially since that was his daughter, damn it. That's fine with me, Naruto said, having no issues with that. Try anything with her and I will make you suffer, Bruce said. What if she makes a move on me? She is the daughter of Catwoman, Naruto said with a smirk as he could feel Bruce shaking on the other end of the call. This got a laugh from Selena. He's got you there, Brucey, she said. She had no problem if her daughter wanted to go after the new Red Hood. Hell, she'd encourage it just cause it'd PSS Bruce off. Bruce growled at this as he made a mental note to get even with Naruto later. Later with Naruto. Naruto had just arrived at the dance club to see Terry arriving right before him. He must have gotten held up by a small crime on the way over, Naruto thought to himself as Terry had left before him. Terry arrived at the juice bar, the teens dancing away to the sound of music. He looked around and saw Dana shaking her peach with her hands raised. Dana, I'm sorry I'm late, I got stuck in, Terry said. What are you apologizing for? I wasn't expecting you. Dana said. But Terry tried to find the words to explain himself. How many times has it been now, Terry? After a while a girl gets the idea. Dana remarked. No, you've got it all wrong, Terry said. Do I? Dana asked with a hard stare before walking away, her boyfriend following after her. Unknown to them, a young woman was watching sitting on the windowsill as the two argued. It's not like I want to be late. It's just that I've got more responsibilities now. Terry said, trying to explain. Yeah, right. Dana said crudely. Look, if you can't handle it then maybe we should just forget the whole thing. Terry said, seeing he wasn't getting through to her. Terry, I already have. Dana said, walking away, causing Terry to look down, walking out of the club. Naruto winced seeing this but decided to just leave Terry alone, knowing now probably wasn't the time to bug him. However, as he was heading towards the table housing the twins, Blade, Max, and Chelsea, Naruto noticed a blonde girl following Terry outside. Concerned seeing as his friend just went through a painful heartbreak, Naruto tailed her. Big fight? Terry turned to stories to see a girl around his age with blonde hair and blue eyes wearing a black long-sleeved shirt and a short pink skirt. I was watching. She said. Terry sighed as the two soon started walking off together, unaware that Naruto was watching from behind some cover. I've got this after school, it cuts into my free time a lot. Too much, Terry said, leaning by a pillar near the monorail. Maybe you should ask your boss for more time off, the girl suggested, causing Terry to laugh. Not this guy, you don't ask him for time off. Terry said he also doubted it even with Naruto around to pick up some slack. So what kind of after-school job is this anyway? The girl asked. I do errands with a friend, sort of, it's kind of hard to describe. What about you? What were you doing out there, why didn't you go in? Terry asked. Didn't know anyone, the girl confessed, not seeing the point of going in alone. New in town? Terry asked, as it seemed rather obvious. Perpetually, my parents' work causes my family to move a lot. The girl lamented. Terry could feel that it was a hard life. At least you get to see the world. Terry said, hoping to cheer her up. Yeah, and lose all my friends, the girl said, causing Terry to regret his words. Do you know what it's like to be uprooted every few weeks without knowing what's going to happen? The girl asked. I'm beginning to get the idea. Terry said, moving next to her. Two of a kind, that's what we are. The girl said, sliding closer to Terry. I'm Melanie, Melanie Walker. Melanie introduced with a genuine smile on her face. Terry McGinnis, Terry replied. Melanie slowly leaned in before pulling him into a kiss. After a few good seconds Terry broke away. What's wrong? Melanie asked, hoping she didn't frighten him off. Nothing, just a little quick is all. Terry said, surprised but still enjoyed the kiss. Naruto took this moment to head back into the club. Hey Whiskers, eyes on us, we missed you, Blade said as she grabbed Naruto by his arm and placed him in the middle seat of the booth. Delia and Deirdre on his left with Cheslea, Max, and Blade on his right. Naruto smiled at his girls before they chatted away. His eyes at points drifted to the door of the club to see if Terry and that girl would re-enter the club, but they never did. Hours later. After his date with the girls, Naruto headed back to his safe house when his phone began to ring. He would have gone to his condo, but this was closer. Hello? Naruto answered as he entered his backup place. Naruto, is Terry with you? He's late getting home, Mary asked a bit worriedly over the phone. Yeah, he's over here, Mary. He and Dana kind of broke up, so he's crashing here, Naruto lied to the redhead MLF. He didn't like lying to one of his ladies at all, but this was a necessary thing. Ah, well, that's a relief. Though in guess that means me and you can't play tonight? Mary asked with an audible pout. Sorry babe. I'll make it up to you. I promise the second we have the time I'll rail your peach against the wall, Naruto said with a grin. You better. My classes are stressful and I need some relief, young man, Mary said with a smile. Absolutely, how about Tuesday, Naruto offered. Sounds good, I'll wear something tight that I don't mind having torn from my milky flesh, Mary told him before she hung up. Naruto growled as he chuckled and headed for the MSTR bathroom, taking off his clothes so he could take a shower. As he entered he heard the shower running and chuckled, thinking maybe one of his girls snuck in. Hope you're up for a round or 6, I'm feeling frisky, Naruto said with a husky tone as he entered the bathroom. And saw Starfire in all her glory using his shower. Ah. Naruto said, wide-eyed at the sight of the naked Tamaranian MLF before him. Naruto. Bruce said this was one of your places and said we could use it since you moved into a condo, Starfire said as she smiled and washed her hair. Where is Nightstar? Naruto asked, hoping to distract himself from the raging urton he now had. Oh, she is patrolling the city and, Starfire was saying before she turned to look at Naruto and she spotted his standing tall urton. This is awkward, Naruto sheepishly chuckled. Starfire chuckled at this, not really, you're a young male and my body is obviously turning you on. Do you wish to have CC with me? Starfire asked as if she was asking a simple question. That I'm sorry. Naruto said after blinking in surprise. Do you wish to have CC with me? Us Tamaranians are free with our emotions and you are a fine male specimen, Starfire said nonchalantly as she went back to washing her body. If you wish to have a CC with me, please join me in here, there is plenty of room, Starfire said with a SNSL smirk as she looked at Naruto. Dear penthouse, Naruto said looking up to the sky with clasped hands. After that prayer and not needing to be told again, Naruto entered the shower and instantly hugged Starfire from behind, grabbing her melons and rubbing his pee in between her legs. Oh my, such an active young man, Starfire giggled as she from Naruto's grip on her melons. His hands gripping and grpng at her fun bags and nipples as if they were possessed. I can't hold myself back. I want to F you so bad, Naruto growled as he kissed her neck. His mouth sing at her neck as water ran down the two's bodies in the shower. As my sister would say, then do it already you hung stud, Starfire out as Naruto's hands trailed down to her peach. Naruto growled at this before he gripped her peach, took aim at her wet pee and moved hard into it. Making the Tamaranian MLF squeal from the intrusion to her snatch. However, soon Starfire found herself bent over by the young male, her hands on the shower walls as water cascaded down their forms. Naruto then proceeded to slam his pee in and out. In and out. Making Star's peach jiggle and her melon swing from under her as Naruto condensed away at her CNT. Holy SHT, you're tight. Naruto grunted out. By the gods, her pee was EF vice around his pee. Oh Zao. Starfire out loud from his pee stretching open her TWT. I'll take that as a compliment, Naruto grunted out as he thirsted hard. Ah. 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 With each hard move into her CN, Starfire aloud. Squealing and shuddering from each of the new Red Hood's THRSTS. Naruto growled as he felt his pee throb from inside the Tamaranian woman's vice-like pee. Are you getting close? Hey, Jason could last longer, Starfire said with a teasing tone as she looked over her shoulder at Naruto with a SNSL smirk. The second those words were said, however, she found herself suddenly moved and pushed up against the shower glass. Her chest pressed against the glass as Naruto grabbed her arms and pulled them back. Slamming into the alien MLF with even more strength and vigor. Not so confident now, are you? Naruto growled out as he thirsted hard into her, making her peach slap against his abs. Oh Zao! Starfire screamed once more from his stronger THRSTS. Her eyes starting to glow from her pleasure. Hey, now who's the one not lasting long? Naruto chuckled as he moved his hands from her arms and gripped her peach as he started thirsting even harder as he felt his CLMX coming. Give me your juices now. Starfire screamed, feeling a very primal need to submit to this young man. Hey, whatever you want, Star SLT. Take it. Naruto exclaimed, seeing her utter depraved longing causing him to CLMX hard into the alien woman's pee. Starfire arched her back and screamed out as she climaxed hard. Her eyes that were glowing shooting out green lasers through the glass of the shower. Melting it before. Crash. The weakened and slightly melted glass shattered under the weight of the teen and the alien MLF as the two fell forward from the shower to the floor. As the two panted for breath, the door to the bathroom suddenly opened, revealing Mari running in with purple energy on her hands. Before she caught the sight of her mother impaled on Naruto's pee. Oh, for crying out loud, Mom, Mari said with a roll of her eyes as she had a good idea what happened. Oh Mari. How was your patrol? Starfire asked nonchalantly to her daughter. As if she didn't have Naruto still inside of her. It's not what it looks like. Naruto sheepishly asked rather than said. Don't bother. Let me guess, my mom offered and you said yes. Probably without much thought in the moment, Mari deadpanned. Yeah, that would summarize it, Naruto admitted. Oh, don't be a prude, dear. If you'd like, you could join us. After all, I can tell he is still ready to continue with the SEC despite having leaked once inside me already, Starfire said with a smile to her daughter. Fine, Mari said after giving it some thought. Really? Naruto asked, surprised as he felt his PP throb as Mari unclothed herself. Don't get it twisted. We Tamaranians, even half ones, don't go exclusive easily. This is just us having some relief, Mari said as she hadn't had a partner in a while. And her last one she shattered their peach to dust. Needless to say, one who could keep up with a full Tamaranian like her mother was worth at least trying out. Though if you can keep us both happy, maybe we can talk about this being permanent, Starfire giggled as she felt Naruto's PP throb inside her again. I don't know what god or goddess I pleased to get this opportunity, but thank you, Naruto said, looking to the sky again as Mari came over to him before pulling him up and out of her mother. We can do this in the bedroom now that you have gotten your warm-up done with my mother, Mari said as she dragged Naruto out of the bathroom. Before she yelped as Naruto quickly picked her up and put her on his shoulder as he walked through the bedroom door and threw her on the bed. Mari was going to say something, but all that could escape her mouth was a squeal as Naruto condeded and immediately slammed his PP inside her tight PP. DMN, I love my life. Naruto cackled as he started to PND and pummel into Mari's CNT with fast and hard THRSTS. Oh. Oh. Oh my. Mari as her eyes flashed violet with each move into her. We're not leaving this bedroom until both of you are mine, Naruto told Mari just as Starfire entered the bedroom and sat on the bed. Then you better make us submit, Naruto, Starfire told him with a smile. I deal with twins every night, you two will be easy, Naruto grunted out before he leaned forward and pulled Mari into a heated kiss, making her mm. As the two kissed, Naruto felt his PP throb once more. This time while in Mari. He was going to pull out of her to spray her with his juices but found her legs wrap around his waist. Inside, I want you to defile my PP, my love, Mari out as she licked his cheek sensually. Her eyes still flashing violet as he pummeled away at her CNT. F. Naruto shouted out as he climaxed hard inside the half-Tamaranian woman. Like her mother earlier, Mari's eyes shot lasers into his ceiling from her own CLMX. Burning twin holes through it. How splendid. Starfire cheered excitedly seeing this reaction from her daughter. Naruto chuckled at this before he pulled out of Mari and approached Starfire. His PP still hard. Oh. You wish to have CC again? Such an active eep. Starfire was saying before Naruto grabbed her and pushed her onto the bed on top of Mari so they were both face to face. No more talking unless it's you submitting to me, Naruto grunted out as he slammed back inside of Starfire's CNT. Ah. Starfire squealed out as Naruto started to jackhammer away at her PP again. Mari smiled seeing her mother's face before she hugged her mother close. Now mother, let's both have some fun with this young stud. After all, when was the last time you ever had someone dominate you? Mari said with a smirk. Ah. It was with your father or friend Raven. Starfire Well, after tonight you'll both be calling me daddy. Naruto grinned as he slammed his PP into Starfire even harder. Oh, you're thirsting so hard, do you like the idea of my mother with Raven? Mari asked with a smirk as she could feel the force behind Starfire as she was pushed into her. DMN right, I do. Naruto exclaimed to the half-Tamaranian as he continued to F both mother and daughter all night long. Their screams echoing throughout the safe house. Including screams of SBMSN. Earlier with Mary McGinnis. After the phone call with Naruto. Mary hung up the phone with a sigh. While she was happy Terry had a friend like Naruto, she was still bummed about having nothing to do tonight as Terry was out and Matt was over a friend's for the week. As that thought came to mind, her phone started to ring again. "Hello?" she asked as she answered. "Mary, it's Donna. I was wondering if you wanted to join me at a small restaurant for dinner," a female voice asked, making Mary smile. It was a woman she had befriended at a yoga class. Donna Walker. "Sure, the kids are busy tonight anyway. What's the address?" Mary asked curiously. At least now she had plans. With Selena, Helena, Ivy, and Harley. Selena sighed as they had been to many, many different apartments in Gotham. And not one was worth it. So the four had gone to a small diner to get food. "So Mini Bat, what look are you gonna go for suit-wise?" Harley asked Helena with a grin. "Haven't decided yet," Helena said simply. "I'm thinking either black and yellow or black and purple," Helena admitted as she had put some thought into this. "Well, make sure it's tight." "Whiskers loves that," Harley said with a giggle while Ivy rolled her eyes at her. "I still wish you wouldn't follow your father's example." Selena sighed at her daughter. "Oh come on kitty cat, it ain't that bad. I mean, this city's always gonna need some upstanding individuals to go out at night and beat the living hell out of idiots. It makes sense to have your girl be one of 'em. After all, it's in her BLD. Just like my nieces," Harley grinned. Yeah, I know," Selena said as she thought about the city, and if she was honest she thought it needed a Catwoman too. "I know I never had interest in becoming Catwoman like you, but do you think maybe you'd find a successor to your old moniker?" Helena asked. She had been training with Bruce to earn a cowl of her own and had seen how Naruto had become Jason's successor as Red Hood. So she just wanted to see if maybe her mother truly wanted that. Not a bad idea," Selena said with a smile. "Oh geez," Ivy said with a groan, knowing Bruce wouldn't like this. "What? After all, every bat needs a cat. Besides, it's all hypothetical right now anyway. It's not like the next Catwoman is gonna just appear before me," Selena said, taking a sip of her tea. Unnoticing Terry and Melanie entering the same diner to get some food. Wayne Manor. Batcave. Naruto walked down the cave whistling a tune after his night with Cory and Mari. As he descended the stairs, Naruto saw Helena doing a backflip as she threw a batarang at a robot that was holographically disguised as the Riddler. As soon as the batarang hit the robot, it fell onto its back on the cave floor as the holographic disguise faded away. "How was that?" Helena asked, looking at her father who was sitting at the back computer. "You've gotten better. Footwork was much better. Now you need to work on the speed of your movements," Bruce told her with a firm tone. "I thought she did great from what I saw. Probably better than you ever were, you old gargoyle," Naruto said with a smirk as he walked over to them announcing his presence. "You're just saying that 'cause you got a good look at my peach," Helena responded with a smirk. "So you do know I look, oof," Naruto responded before Bruce chopped him in the gut with his cane. "PP," Naruto groaned out. "Where's Terry?" Bruce asked, ignoring Naruto's pain. "Don't know. He has a life that he can live, so I don't feel like I need to keep tabs on my friend," Naruto said as he stood back up from the cane hit. "You need to head out for patrol and I don't trust you alone," Bruce said with a firm tone. "Oh yeah. God forbid I'm out alone kicking criminals' teeth in," Naruto rolled his eyes. "Let me guess, worried I'll off someone you don't want me to off?" Naruto asked. "I can go with him," Helena said as she approached. "Not a chance, Helena," Bruce told her firmly. "Ah, what's the matter? Does the big bad bat not trust his daughter with the bad bee Red Hood? Or are you worried she'll be a better bat than you and Terry both?" Naruto asked with a smirk. "I don't want her alone with you, Hood," Bruce told him. "Oh please, she's a big girl and could kick my ass if I did something she didn't like." "You know it and I know it," Naruto said with a scoff at this. "He's right, Dad. I'm 25, remember?" Helena told her father. "My answer remains no," Bruce said with a firm tone just as Terry came down the cave. "I walk in on something I shouldn't have." Terry asked as he felt the tension between the three in the cave. Yeah, Helena and I are gonna elope and the old man is mad, ha. Naruto yelled as he ducked under a batarang, missed me ya old bat. Naruto cackled. You're late, Bruce said, ignoring Naruto and turning his attention to Terry. Sorry, it was a crazy night last night. Dana and I broke up amongst other things, Terry said. You're teenagers. You'll get back together in a week and then break up again a week after that, Bruce said simply. Regardless, it's no excuse to be late. Now suit up. You and Naruto are going on patrol, Bruce told him. Pretty sure she and I are done. Besides, why us? Why not let Joke and Jester handle patrol? Terry asked with a raised eyebrow. Okay, old man, you have at least 3 other options to use so Terry can have a break, so unless the city is on fire, Naruto said as he glared at Bruce. I don't want anyone else involved in hunting the Royal Flush Gang aside from you two. Bruce said seriously. Seriously? Why? Naruto raised an eyebrow. They have a long and storied history of crime. Each one made up of different family members. Regardless, I don't want either of you two going after them alone, Bruce told them seriously. Just cause they have a history doesn't mean they'll hit tonight, Terry said, trying not to reveal he had another date with Melanie tonight. As much as it pains me to admit this, they probably will, Naruto said. Fine, old man, you win. We'll handle this, but remember this, you have others you can call in like your daughter. We don't need to face the world alone, Naruto said as he and Terry walked up the steps. Oh, and Helena, let me know when you're not grounded by daddy. We can go have a night on the town after, Naruto said with a smirk. Looking forward to it, Helena said with a smirk, deciding to tease Naruto a bit like her mom taught her. Ha! I like your kid, old man. She's fiery. Naruto laughed as he left the cave. I'm going to break his leg, Bruce grumbled. Why? Mom already approves of him, Helena said with a smirk. Get back to your training, Helena, Bruce told her firmly, ignoring the comment. Museum. Night. You sure they'll hit here? Terry asked curiously. Their whole deal is playing cards, jewels, and medieval theatrics. Considering the news had a story about a jewel-encrusted blade, I'd say this is our best shot, Naruto said as he knelt on a ledge using his detective vision to zoom in on the building and scan for people. Let's hope the old man's wrong about them for once. I have plans, Terry muttered. This involve that blonde you left the club with? Naruto asked with a curious tone. You know? Terry asked, slightly surprised. I saw you and her meet and leave the club together after Dana and you broke up, Naruto said simply. And you don't think I'm moving too fast by seeing this girl? Terry asked. Maybe a bit, but you know how many girls I'm with, bro. Not every relationship moves at the same pace as previous ones. Besides, it ain't my place to judge you and what you do. It's your life, not mine. Live how you wish to, Naruto told him. Thanks, Terry said in response as he didn't want to be judged. Anytime, dude. They're here, Naruto said as he saw the Royal Flush Gang land their playing cards and enter the building via detective mode. What's the plan of attack? Terry asked his partner. Simple. We go in, kick their ass, and then we go to our respective dates, Naruto told him. Dates? Terry asked. You think you're the only one with plans tonight, dude? I got plans with one of my girls, Naruto said as he owed Mary a night of bed-breaking section. Though he wasn't gonna say that to her son with him. Let's go, Naruto said as he grappled to the museum and headed for the roof to sneak into the building. Inside the museum. Take your time, Ten. You have all the time in the world to disable the security, King said as he and the rest of the family were waiting on Ten to cut the wires to the security system to enter before they could steal the sword. I really don't, she muttered to herself as she gazed at the time on her watch. Got it, she said. Are you sure? King asked, wanting to make sure she was thorough. Yes. Now let's get the sword, Ten said impatiently as the Royal Flush Gang all entered the museum, flying through the museum on their flying until they came upon the sword. As soon as King reached for it, however, several guards intercepted them. "Freeze criminals!" a museum guard demanded. "I thought you disabled the security system?" King asked Ten with a glare and a tone of disapproval. "I did. I cut through all the wires. I swear," Ten said before ducking under a laser blast. "Regardless, we have our prize." "We shall go then," King ordered his family as they all jumped onto their carts to escape the guards. As the family flew towards their escape route, Terry clung to a nearby column and fired a grapple line as they flew, knocking Ace, Queen, and Jack to the floor. "Not looking so royal now," Terry said with a smirk as he jumped down. Ace stood up and charged at Terry, but Naruto dropped down in front of him holding what looked like a high-tech shotgun, which he pumped once before he fired at the robot, blasting him in the chest. Boom! "Get your money!" Naruto yelled before he pumped the shotgun again and fired at Ace again, this time blasting off the android's arm. "So who wants to spend some quality time with Daddy?" Naruto asked. Queen watched this and chuckled a bit at this display of confidence. "Kill him." "Batman is mine to end," King ordered as he and Ten stood back while Queen and Jack pulled their weapons from their backs. "Sorry, he's not into dudes, old man," Naruto yelled before he slammed the ass of his shotgun into Jack's gut, "and neither am I. So I'll happily take out your queen here," Naruto said before dodging a blast of electricity from her scepter. "So gotta ask, is the whole robbing thing a compensation thing cause he's a baby wiener haver?" Naruto asked Queen with a smirk under his helmet. "Well, on a bad day, hey," Queen was saying before she realized what she was saying and sent a blast of electricity again at Naruto, who ducked it. "So what's your deal, King? Too much of a coward to fight yourself? Where's your manhood?" Naruto asked as he kept dodging Queen's electric blasts. "I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with dancing with your wife here, but aren't most husbands against that sort of thing?" Naruto asked. "Don't you ever shut up?" King bellowed out. "Spoiler alert, he doesn't," Terry said with a smirk as he had to admit this was really funny. Hell, he wasn't even having issues in the fight considering the android was down and Jack was literally in a headlock as Terry answered. "Well, let's see, today's Sunday, so." "No," Naruto said before firing his shotgun at King to make him and Ten leap back from the shot. "Deal with Batman. I shall face Red Hood myself," King told Ten with a scowl on his face. "Ooh, finally gonna do something now, huh? You know, for a king you come across more like AB. Let me guess, Queen here pegs you in the sheets, right?" Naruto asked as he ducked under an electric blast from Queen once more and sent a peely kick into her face, knocking her away and onto the floor near Ace. As King went to draw his blade, everyone's attention turned to a guard coming from the shadows with a gun drawn. "You're all under arrest. Hands in the air." The guard demanded before Jack, who had been let go of by Batman to face Ten, came up behind the guard and disarmed him, pointing a blade at the throat of the guard. "Well, now it seems we've been dealt a wild card. If you two value his well-being, you won't follow us," King said with a smirk as he sheathed his sword. "Cowardly piece of SHT. I hope your wife doesn't use lube on your peach when she pegs you tonight," Naruto yelled. King growled at this before he slugged Naruto in the face before he ran to his playing card and flew off, his family close behind him as they crashed through a large glass window. "You okay?" Terry asked as he ran over to Naruto. "No time, go after them. I'll catch up on my bike. You and I both know they'll drop him," Naruto said as he stood up and clicked a button on his wrist to bring his bike to his location. Terry nodded and activated his rockets to chase after the family. Naruto meanwhile leapt out the window as his flying bike arrived and helped chase after them. "What's the situation?" Bruce asked over comm as he contacted. "Gangs fled the museum with a hostage, Batman's in pursuit. Call back later," Naruto said as he focused on driving. Soon he caught up and noticed Ten pull in front of King to say something, and shortly after Jack threw the guard over the edge of his car to send him to the streets below. Terry dove for the guard to save him while Naruto continued to chase after the gang. Don't think I'll let you get away, Naruto muttered as he clicked a button and his bike started firing laser blasts, blasting at the fleeing gang. Hoping to hit one of their cards and make them descend for interrogation. He managed to hit Ten's card as soon as King swerved out of the way to dodge the blasts, forcing Ten to crash onto a nearby rooftop. 10. Queen yelled, seeing this. Leave her, King said, she is dead. Wait. We must escape, he said as the gang flew away while Naruto landed on the building. Batman has the guard and I got one of them to descend. I'm gonna interrogate them, Naruto said into his comm as he approached Ten. Ten struggled to get up after her crash as she had hit a vent as she fell, smashing her shoulder and knocking it out of place. Stay down, I don't want to hurt you worse than you obviously already are, Naruto said as he approached Ten. I can still fight you, Hood, Ten said as she shakily stood up. Oh, I'm sure you can, but I don't mean physically. I saw you pull in front of King before Jack dropped the guard. Why? Naruto asked. What does it matter? Ten asked as she knew for a fact she was probably going to be arrested now. People don't do things without reason. You tried to stop the guard from being dropped, Naruto said, I can see it in your eyes. Robbing and thievery is what you were raised into. But cold-blooded murder? No, that's not your style, Naruto said. You don't even know me. Ten yelled before she grabbed his shoulder. No, but you wear your emotions on your sleeve. Visible even with the mask. It's actually admirable that you would protect you gang even after they left you behind to escape. Admirable but foolish, Naruto said. They had no choice because of you. Ten said as she glared at Naruto. People always have a choice. Naruto told her, let me pose you a question. Are you well and truly happy with the gang? Or do you feel like you're just doing it to survive? Naruto asked. Ten said nothing to this as she thought about. In my experience, if you're doing something out of obligation, then it's not the right reason to do it. Ask yourself what you truly want, Naruto said as he handed Ten a tracker. I'm going to give you a chance to do some good. To help others because I see it in your eyes. This life isn't for you, Naruto said handing her the tracker. You can go back to your gang and do whatever you're told and I'll treat you as an enemy from then on. Or you can do what you truly want for once. Maybe find someone who actually cares about you, cause I get the feeling you kinda need that more than approval, Naruto said before he walked over to his bike. You're not gonna arrest me? Ten questioned, surprised and overwhelmed by his offer. I'm just a vigilante. Who can I technically even arrest? Naruto asked with an audible smirk under his helmet. Hopefully when we next meet it won't be as enemies. 10, Naruto said before he drove away. That was incredibly risky, Naruto, Bruce said over comm. Hey, my betting average is better than yours, old man. Look, just cause you were all doom and gloom back in the day and Jason was more shoot first ask questions later doesn't mean I have to be the same. I have to believe in there being good in others. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to put on this helmet and do what I do, Naruto said seriously as he drove back towards the cave. Fine, but whatever happens is on you, Bruce said with a sigh at this. Hey, if I'm right, can I take Helena out? Naruto asked with a smirk. You're on. Helena was heard yelling in the background. And I'm hanging up, Bruce said with an annoyed tone. Ah, his anger amuses me, Naruto said. Alright, I do have a lady to go and please tonight, so I'm heading back, Naruto said as he drove away. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 4. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author KFB Anime 87 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.